Sam Lehman of Morton, the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois. Ram Power Days is back. Don't miss it. This month, take over $15,000 off 2025 Ram 1500s and all heavy-duty crew cabs. And during Jeep Adventure Days, take $12,000 off MSRP on all Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L Limiteds. Plus, save over $16,000 on a brand new Jeep Wrangler. All here at Sam Lehman of Morton, where we do the deals no one else will.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine-washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
From the crossroads of Illinois, we are in Normal, the center of the land of Lincoln, and it's also the center of the Class 6A playoffs here this afternoon in November. We have two 7-2 teams that have had fantastic seasons looking to do battle. The Normal West Wildcats, the home team here today, have won 5 straight, looking for their third straight first-round playoff victory. Meanwhile, Chicago Simeon comes down from the Windy City looking for a small upset on the road with a new coach and a new identity here this time around. Good afternoon to everyone. Jonathan Michael and Caden Sexton here in the booth with you this afternoon. And Caden, we did multiple games last night. More playoff football. It's another helping Friday and Saturday, first round in Class 6A.
Yeah, Class 6A filled with lots of matchups, not just here in the Peoria, Normal, Central Illinois area, as well as some of those Chicago teams, and some of them bleeding together, just like last night when we covered Shepherd against Washington, as well as today with Normal West facing off against Chicago Simeon very shortly.
6A is such a strong class this season. Great teams all up and down the bracket. And we'll start with the Normal West Wildcats to get winners of 5 straight games. They had a big win against Peoria High in Week 5, and that really set the tone of the rest of the regular season.
Yeah, Normal West, they had that win against Peoria High, and that kind of propelled them to get this 5-game winning streak. But not just the 5-game winning streak, they've looked more confident out there on the field. One thing that they have been doing is they've been changing around quarterbacks, John. We saw Payne Menford in that game against Peoria High. Last 3 weeks, Cooper Temples has been the guy for Nathan Finchman's team.
He's the third starting quarterback for the Wildcats this season, but Normal West has found success with all three of them. Dynamic player Cooper Temples is. He does it all for Normal West. As for Simeon, a strong season for them in the Chicago Public Red Conference. They're coming off a loss to Morgan Park last week, but looking to bounce back here on the road.
Yeah, they lost their first game of the season against Rochester, the team that had a great game against Peoria Notre Dame last night. Lost their 9th, but they won the 7 in the middle, and that's what mattered, and that's what got them here. And a big part of getting them here is Notre Dame commit Christopher Burgess Jr. We're going to be calling his name a lot tonight, John. But number 0, he's got 9.6 tackles a game. When we talked to Coach Sinquan Turner pregame, basically the conversation was he's expecting Burgess to be double to triple teamed all throughout the night, and you're going to have to find your other playmakers, find some other playmakers here if you are Chicago Simeon.
Definitely Burgess, the 4-star player, one of the top recruits in the entire state of Illinois. He's committed to play in South Bend, Indiana at Notre Dame next year. Going to be a great matchup here from Normal. We're glad that you've tuned in with us on our CIProud.com for our WMBD Game of the Week. Again, Jonathan Michael and Caden Sexton here of Clutch Sports Media powering today's broadcast. We'll have more coverage for you and kickoff later on our WMBD Game of the Week here from Normal.
And a lot of depth in the bracket. First game I wanted to talk about was Normal West versus Simeon. Two teams at 7-2. Normal West comes in as the 8 seed, Simeon the 9 seed, so they're really evenly matched. This is a game that, I've been pretty high on Normal West all year. The 2 losses they've had have been against 1 very, very good teams and 2 teams that they were very competitive with as well. So other than that, Normal West has looked dominant. Their offense has been electrifying all season long. You see 60-point games, consistently 50, 40-point games down the stretch, winners of 5 straight to end the season, and really just on fire to end the year. Simeon, I'm not sure too much about them, but they're 7-2. Simeon, I know overall their athletic program is always really good, so I guarantee you they're going to bring the heat to that game. But just from what I've seen from Normal West, it's going to be hard. Simeon's going to have to be a really, really good team if they want to be able to compete with Normal West. But they're all in the playoffs for a reason, so that's a game definitely keep your eye on, the 8 and 9 seed.
Yes,
the second one
real quick,
is Dunlap.
Sorry just before we switch topics to different games, I was looking, doing a little bit of scouting on Simeon again. We'll be broadcasting that game on Saturday on CIProud.com as well. But Simeon, they have I believe a 4-star defensive end committed to Notre Dame. Can't remember his name off the top of my head at the moment. Obviously, we'll be knowing that. I'm sure his name has hit on Saturday for sure. But Normal West offensive line will get a pretty good test in that game. A lot of just great athletes at Simeon. A lot of one of those programs that churns out college level talent.
And there was a clip of our In the Clutch podcast earlier this week talking anything and everything Central Illinois football. A windy but great day here in Normal again. Class 6A matchup between the Simeon Wolverines and the Normal West Wildcats. Just over 10 minutes away from kickoff. We'll send it to a quick break for our sponsors and come right back here live from Normal.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime. After 4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams,
Your stories.
Your stats and standings.
your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts. As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds. CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action. More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
And welcome back to Normal. You're looking live here at the Normal West Wildcats Stadium. Great day here for football, Caden. Our first afternoon football game of the year can only mean one thing, and that is it's the playoff season. It's always fun to kind of, see a game come on during the day. Almost how it has like that college feel to it a little bit. And it's winner go home time in the playoffs. It is a big time feel to this game.
Look, John, it's Saturday at 1. It's college time, but not here in Normal, as we have a fun matchup between Chicago Simeon and the Normal Wildcats. These two teams actually faced each other last year in the first round. Look, it was a little bit different. The star player was not active for Chicago Simeon in Christopher Burgess. There was the final year of their former head coach who retired after that game. Now you got a new head coach in Sing-Q Turner who's building a new culture. You have Burgess back. However, you can't overlook completely last year's 37-6 Wildcat victory at this field.
Always a fun time when teams from Central Illinois face teams from Chicago. Again, you never know what you're going to get. I was talking to Owen Dimple on our broadcast of Palos Heights Shepherd versus Washington last night. You never really know what you're going to get because not all 7-2 teams are created equal. There's some that are truthfully very strong, like we saw Washington was last season, blowout win over Shepherd. And there's some 7-2s that, maybe aren't quite as good as their record suggests. So we'll see here today which team has what it takes to move on into the second round of the playoffs and face the winner of East St. Louis and Springfield. But before that, let's take a look at the forecast here today. It's looking like a great day here in Normal. High of about 60 degrees or so. Wind speeds 10 to 15 miles an hour, Caden. It's always a windy day here in Normal. There's never such thing as a calm wind day. It's because we're surrounded by cornfields. You can cue the Central Illinois jokes in now.
And you can look out front and you can see all the turbines spinning with this wind here. It'll be interesting to see what the approach is between kicking for both sides. I mean, we were at Washington last night where we could see a 52-yarder in play. With the wind today and it being high school ball, I expect, John, unless if you're thinking otherwise, a lot of fourth and short attempts as well as a lot of two-point conversions if it gets close.
Definitely. Element's always a factor here, and that helped out Normal West in that win over Peoria High back in Week 5 that we briefly touched on. That was a state-ranked win for the Wildcats, and they're 5-0 since then. Looking to make a deep run here in Class 6A. Let's take a look at the playoff matchups from around the rest of the southern portion of the bracket. Winner of this game will face the winner of East St. Louis and Springfield. I think many people in the state know who's going to win that game unless something crazily unforeseen happens, but whoever wins this game likely going to have a huge test next week.
Yeah, this would be the third straight year Normal West would have to face East St. Louis in the playoffs. They would love to reverse that outcome and not let East St. Louis end their season for a third year. However, you can't think about next week, John. Right now, you have to think about the game in a couple minutes.
You certainly do. Both teams have had that extra day to prepare with it being a Saturday game, so I wonder how both these teams use that extra day as well. A chance to rest up after 9 weeks of the regular season. Bodies are banged up. Everyone's kind of feeling the effects a bit, but it's all about who's tougher, and that's really what it comes down to here in the playoffs. There you see the traffic hum along Interstate 74 just behind our field. 5 minutes away from kickoff. We'll step aside one more time and come back with kickoff right after this on our WMBD Game of the Week, powered by Clutch Sports Media.
Sam Lehman of Morton, the #1 Ram truck dealer in Illinois. Ram Power Days is back. Don't miss it. This month, take over $15,000 off 2025 Ram 1500s and all heavy-duty crew cabs. And during Jeep Adventure Days, take $12,000 off MSRP on all Grand Cherokee and Grand Cherokee L Limiteds. Plus, save over $16,000 on a brand new Jeep Wrangler. All here at Sam Lehman of Morton, where we do the deals no one else will.
Life happens. With Ashley's all-new high-performance furniture, you can relax. It's life-resistant. From messes and mishaps to snacks and spills, these pieces are easy to clean and durable. Plus, some styles feature machine-washable covers. So bring on the mess with a little less stress and discover high-performance furniture at Ashley.
And welcome back to normal. The calm before the storm right now. Both teams going to be taking the field here in a second. Simeon already on the field. West Wildcats walking out right now with their band leading them out, dressed up in Halloween uniforms. It is still Halloween weekend, as they say, and the Wildcats hoping they don't need to dress up to know that they're a good football team.
No, they do not. Student section all here decked out in Halloween costumes. However, black with the claw is the the costume, you could say, tonight. Maybe they're embodying Wildcats out there on the field, John.
It certainly will be. It'll be I don't really know quite what type of an animal a Wolverine is, but it's sort of in the cat family. It's got claws, so who's going to scratch up who today here in normal? Again, Jonathan Michael, Caden Sexton here in the booth. Wildcats getting ready to take the field, but Caden, lots of key players to watch tonight, especially for Simeon. Again, we're really watching Charles Burgess and the effect that he has, not just directly on the game, but also indirectly as well. You have a 4-star Notre Dame commit on the opposing defensive line. That's going to draw some double, maybe even triple teams and free other guys up, like guys like Charles Smith, Janelle Connor possibly to make some plays.
Right, when you look at the defense, you see Christopher Burgess, you see the Notre Dame commit, and you see, okay, he's going to make an impact. Well, he can't necessarily make an impact if he's being double or triple teamed, and Nathan Finchman has the option. He can let his offensive line go one-on-one, take their chances, and just try and play a normal game, or he can contain him by those double, triple teams and try and force the remainder of his line to play ball one-on-one coverage against the remainder of Simeon's D-line. The problem with that is the rest of Simeon's defensive line is just as star-studded as Christopher Burgess. They might not be Notre Dame commits, but they have had huge impacts all season and have plenty of talent with their quick and hard work and speed.
They certainly do. It's a fast team. Normal West also a very fast team. We'll talk more about them later, but our key player to watch for Normal West today, again, Cooper Temples, their third starting quarterback of the season. He has played running back. He has played wide receiver. He has played defensive back. He has played even the punter for Normal West. What an incredible athlete and what a comeback story for him after missing all of last season, or most of last season, with an injury.
Look, Cooper Temples got his first start at quarterback in the 7th game of the season. I'm not saying by any means that Normal West has had an easy 3 games. However, without question, the Simeon defense will be the hardest that Cooper Temples has to face this season, and it's going to be a tough test for him. Of course, he's ran against a lot of different defenses, but he hasn't thrown against a defense quite like Simeon.
He certainly has not. Normal West is kind of eased into this game. You know, their schedule started out so tough with 5 or 6 straight great opponents. And in the last 3 weeks, they've been blowing by Emmanuel, Champaign Central, Urbana. They've outscored their last 3 opponents 175-13, but they will have to lock back in for this one. Looking at our tail of the tape, you see it right there. 2 pretty similar teams, 7-2 records. Normal West, slightly better scoring offense, but both defenses giving up in between 15 and 20 points per game. So again, these 8-9 matchups going into it, it's usually more or less a coin toss, really.
Right, it really is a defensive battle at the end of the day. Who's going to lock down both sides have a rushing quarterback. One has a guy that started out as a running back. The other, in Simeon's quarterback of Caleb Sims, is a kind of a two-way quarterback. When you have two rushing quarterbacks, when you have two guys who like to move the ball on the ground, the defensive lines and linebackers have to make the difference tonight.
Certainly, and look at our keys to victory for Simeon. They got to score early and just establish the passing. Caleb Sims, bit of a rough game against Morgan Park. Obviously, a very strong defense last week. He's looking to rebound for them. And for Normal West, just they got to play big. They got to lock back in. And, just they got to use that Big 12 schedule that they had earlier in the season to take down another tough opponent here today. Also with playing big, a little bit of a smaller team in the Lions. Both offensive and defensive linemen, a little bit smaller than Simeon's, but they put up a good fight in all of their games this year. We're ready to go from Normal. Kick is away, and it's a short one. Bounces at the 20, and fallen on there by Efoy Baskins at the 16. That's where the Wildcats take over. And we'll see this Normal West offense. So we can see a little bit of everything, Caden. They like to get anyone involved in any way possible.
The Wildcats may run a few Wildcat formations today, John, especially with Cooper Temples at quarterback. But don't discredit the Temples throwing the football. He's got an 83.3 completion percentage, the best out of the three quarterbacks who have taken the field this season for Normal West.
Small sample size. He's just 10 for 12 on the season. Only threw one pass last week against Urbana. Didn't need to pass much in that game. And they'll send a man in motion. That's Cody Mulbauer. First snap is right to Temples and a short gain. Wrapped up there by Darrell Hampton. Again, lots of playmakers on that D-line from Simeon. It's not just Christopher Burgess.
It is not, John. You have Janelle Connor. You have Timothy Richardson. You have Andre Burns. You have Devon Payne. All guys with more than 5 tackles a night. All guys who are being disruptive on that line. A lot of motion here for Normal West, though.
Baskins, Raider, and another receiver, Givens, all in motion. And it looks like Simeon may have jumped there. Andre Burns a little upset with himself after that one. That'll march it forward 5, making about a 2nd and 3 here.
5 yards brings up 2nd down.
It's early. You got to feel the snap count of Cooper Temples and Normal West, a team and a quarterback you haven't seen yet this year.
That'll be a toss play out to Mulbauer. Has great breakaway speed, and he breaks away from a tackle there, out across the 35 before he's brought down by Burns and Demarion Williams. But we might see a steady diet of Cody Mulbauer this week, the electric sophomore.
Yeah, we've been talking about Cooper Temples all throughout the Open, John. Don't forget Cody Mulbauer has 953 rushing yards. He is no joke behind the line of scrimmage, and he's able to just keep pushing the rock forward.
Had a huge breakout game in one of his first varsity contests in week 1 against Peoria Notre Dame. Temple's looking to keep it alive to the outside. He's going to get wrapped up and brought down by Charles Smith. Big tackle from the visitors.
Yeah, Charles Smith is the second guy up for the Simeon Wolverines. We're going to talk all night about Christopher Burgess, but Charles Smith still has 7.5 tackles a game, 3 sacks, both second most on this Wolverine defense.
Wolverines going with 5 down linemen here. 2 guys on the outside. And 4 wide receivers here. Another snap out to Temples. Misses an arm tackle, carries it across the 45. He's got the first down near midfield. Temple is showing that he is hard to bring down. Has kept those legs churning to move the 6 again.
Well, not only is Temple's hard to bring down, but that offensive line is moving at a steady pace and pushing Simeon forward and kind of creating the space for Temples to keep moving and not letting anything touch him.
You're not going to go very far in high school football without a strong offensive line, and that's why right there helping create the holes. Another 4 wide receiver set. We're going to see lots of it from West today. Mulbauer across the 50. And a solid chunk pickup there. Just keeps things moving forward. back to that Week 1 game he had against Peoria Notre Dame. We broadcasted that game, Caden, and he had 18 rushes for 356 yards and 5 touchdowns, nearly 20 yards per pop in that game. He scored all of their touchdowns as there's a Wolverine down. Looks like that's Timothy Richardson.
Yeah, Richardson is an impact player on the defense for certain. 3.5 tackles a game. He's got a fumble recovery already this season. You can see Sinquan Turner out there checking on his guy. But as you were saying, Colby Mulbar, when he averages over 8.5 yards a carry, you just can't contain a guy like that.
And the one thing that stuck out to me about Mulbauer, especially in that first game of the season, was, P&D maybe not as fast as some teams, but once he got outside the hashes, outside the numbers, he was just gone. If you have an open field, good luck bringing him down. You got to be a fast team, but Simeon is a fast team. I think both these teams just match up well, and part of the reason why we could see a pretty close matchup here today as they continue to tend to Richardson. Normal West moving the ball well here in the first drive of the game. As we'll take a look at Normal West head coach Nathan Fincham, who's led the Wildcats to a playoff berth in every single one of his seasons here at Normal West. It's an impressive playoff streak from the Wildcats, reaching well over a decade. It's just a remarkable feat of consistency by this program.
Yeah, his first season was on paper his best. He got 10 wins. However, he has, like you said, 6 seasons, brought the Wildcats to the postseason every year. When you're a coach that's winning more than 3/4 of your games as the play caller, as the showrunner, you cannot stress enough how important a voice like that is in the locker room, because he has the experience. He knows how to work with the kids as well as being the leader, and knows how to scheme up a good football game.
He certainly does. We saw his coaching prowess back in Week 5. Again, I know one of our guys, Teddy Ball, said in our podcast earlier this week, a couple weeks ago, he said that, he just really thought about the game because wind was a major factor that night. He took timeouts to keep Peoria High going against the wind. The Lions don't kick field goals, so he was taking timeouts at the end of the first quarter, burned through all of them just to prevent them from being able to pass the ball well, passing into that rugged wind that night. This truly shows how much he knows and is thinking about the game as Richardson heads over to the sideline. He's able to put weight on both feet, so that's a good sign for the Wolverines junior defensive end.
John, they just called the first timeout for the Wolverines, so Simeon's going to talk things over after the injury and after Normal West kind of walked down the field, per se.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by that. At least by the timeout call. You've seen your first couple of plays. You watch film, you try and game plan for some things, but it's always different in person. And whatever you see the first couple plays of the game, you're like, okay, let's, this is what they're doing. Let's try and do this. So now it becomes a little bit of a chess match. Now, if you're Normal West, you keep on doing the same things you have been, which has just been running with Mulbauer and Temples.
Yeah, they have not attempted a pass yet, but hey, that's gotten them from the 25 to the opposite 45. So you can discredit all you want. They're going to keep lining up 4 wide receiver sets to make the box more empty, and that's going to allow these runs to keep coming and not slow down.
All those 3 wide receivers, those trips to the left, are making them load the box a little bit more. Is now 3 men in motion: Jackson, Baskins, and Raider. Now all 3 at the top of your screen. Givens at the bottom. Hand off to Mulbauer. No, Temples keeps it. Fooled us out across the 35. West uses that timeout to their advantage, and a nice fake from Cooper Temples.
Yeah, we should see that a lot today. When you got 2 guys in the backfield who are kind of equal in running ability between Temples as well as Mulbauer. Now, obviously, Mulbauer has 600 more yards than Temples does. But when you got 2 guys back there who can easily take the ball and get a first down, you have to plan them both. And so having all the mix-up and the confusion with the wide receivers, with the trips, with the motions, is going to make you focus less on the run, even though that's all Normal West has done.
Steady diet of the ground game so far for the Wildcats as they go with that 4 wide receiver set again. Wolverines loading up the line now this time. It's another give. Mulbauer falls forward for a short gain right there. Corey Randolph, the sophomore, in on that tackle for Simeon. Sophomore D lineman.
Yeah, Randolph could easily, John, be in for Timothy Richardson. He's not someone that we looked at, because when we looked at this defense, besides Richardson, nearly everyone else that gets playing time is a senior. It is a very veteran group that's going to be trying to contain this Normal West offense.
2nd and 9. In Wolverine territory, Temples going for it all with Givens. Did he bring it in? What a phenomenal grab!
First pass of the day, first touchdown of the game. That's the 3rd receiving touchdown for Malik Givens, the junior for Normal West.
And maybe that's why they ran the ball so much. You run, you run, you run, you run, then you open up the pass, boom, big play, and Normal West takes the first lead here at home. As the lineup for the extra point here with Jagger Phillips, kick just sneaks over the upright, and it's 7-0 Normal West. That scoring drive brought to you by our friends over at Papa John's. And what a phenomenal grab there from Givens. It maybe wasn't the best ball from Temples, but he still put it in a good enough spot, and Givens made a play.
You know, John, you went out and met with Coach Finchman earlier on in the week, and he kind of talked about how Cooper Temples, when he first got the role, it was all short passes. It was all runs between him and between Colby Mulhauer. That was not a short pass. That was at least 30, 40 yards in the air, and that's what something that Finchman said is today is the first time that he's going to really expand that playbook for Cooper Temples.
And it's in a big-time game, too, as well. So Simeon gives up the touchdown. We'll see what their offense does to respond here on the road. Again, longest road trip of the season for them. They get to obviously stay around Chicago most of the year. Now they come down, and sometimes it takes you a bit to adjust after spending 2 hours or so on the bus, adjusting your schedule, playing a Saturday afternoon game rather than a Friday night game. Not an easy task to go on the road. We'll see how they respond here as Phillips gets set to kick off from the 40. One man deep back for Simeon. That's Isaiah Thomas Jr. Brings it in from the 18. A burst of speed across the 30, now across the 40, cuts it back up to the 45. A strong return from the junior athlete.
Yeah, John, not too surprising that from that return there. Thomas already has 2 punt returns this season. He averages 32 yards on his returns. It'll be the first time we see the Simeon and offense, as well as the first time out for the Normal defense, as you will get your first look, if you are not from the Chicagoland area, of Caleb Sims, the senior dual threat quarterback. He runs it just as much as he throws it. However, he's not the traditional running back like Cooper Temples is on the other side of the ball. Gives this one to his running back, and James Bell.
And Bell, a player that CQ Turner said before this game was kind of one of those under-the-radar guys for them. Again, you got lots of stars, especially Cornell Conley, a player we haven't mentioned yet, junior wide receiver, number 9, definitely a player that we're going to have our eyes on here today.
Right, when you look at Conley, when you look at Simmons, when you look at Burgess, when you look at a couple other guys who are getting Division I offers, you kind of focus your attention on them. However, James Bell, the sophomore, he's got an average of 90 rushing yards a game. He's the youngest guy who gets time. Everybody else is a senior with a handful of juniors, and then there's this young sophomore who's taking all the snaps behind the offensive line.
Of a flag here, and it'll be encroachment on Normal West. That'll give one pre-snap penalty to each defense so far. So Simeon has now about a 2nd and 3 now in Wildcat territory on their first drive of the game. That first drive for Normal West, Caden, took about 4 minutes off the clock, so we'll see if Simeon goes methodical or tries to speed things up here. Four receivers and a low snap, handoff to Bell, and the West defense was ready for him. On to Wildcats in on that tackle, including Temples at quarterback, making plays on defense too. He goes two ways. What doesn't he do?
I mean, if he's not able to convert a first down, we might see him do a punt next drive, John. Yeah, a lot of mix-up there, a lot of confusion. Simeon trying to get Normal West to not understand who the ball was going to. However, Normal West stayed their ground and was able to make the tackle on the stop.
Again, this defensive line doesn't quite match up physically as well as other teams, but they play just as well. Deep pass going for Liggins, incomplete, and a flag comes in. May have been some hand action going on the other side of us. It looked clean from our angle for the most part, but again, didn't see what they were doing on the other side of their bodies, so that one may go on West and give Simeon a first down. We'll await the call. And it will be PI on Normal West, so another first down given to Simeon.
Like you said, John, it looked clean from our angle, but we don't have replay. We only see one side of the ball. Can't exactly make the call. The refs can, but either way, it gives a fresh set of downs for the Wolverines.
And we talked about that long road trip for Simeon. The road to state for them runs obviously here through Normal. 130 miles specifically between these two high schools. Lots of road trips for these Class 6A teams, especially in the South bracket. Handoff, and it's brought down like by CJ Porter. That handoff went.
That was out to Javion Williams,
yes,
the senior wide receiver. It was on the jet sweep.
I think, we talked about Normal West. They like to get their wide receivers involved in the run game. I think we could see the same as well for Simeon, too. Yeah, especially just, being in this windy area. It is hard to – this is just a hard field, a hard stadium to throw the football at. So you want to get your guys, like your playmakers and wide receivers involved. Somehow you just got to do that in the run game. 2nd and 7. Sims looks back to throw. This time Liggins brings it in. Spins around to tackle inside the 15. It's a first down for the Wolverines. That time Liggins got the pass on the money.
Yeah, Wiggins has 3 touchdowns on the season. Liggins has 3 touchdowns on the season with 24 yards a game. They've already gone to him twice early this afternoon. You wouldn't expect Liggins to be their number 1 guy with Cornell Conley as well as Jamari Burns getting a lot of touches, but their 4th wide receiver has seen the action here so far.
I don't see Conley, number 9, on the field on this play. It'll be another run by Williams. Avoids a big TFL and keeps on moving. It's still going to be a short gain on 1st and 10.
We've talked a lot about the Normal West speed. You're seeing the speed live and in front of you from Chicago Simeon. A lot of jet sweeps, a lot of runs, and the ball, even when Caleb Sims drops back and throws, ball not in his hands for very often because of the speed of those wide receivers.
2nd and 8 from the 11. Normal West defense looking to make a stand, and we've seen them make multiple red zone stands this season. At bend but not break defense. 4 wide receivers all split out. Sims going for the touchdown, back corner, and just a bit too much mustard on that ball. He was looking for number 15, Keelan Jones.
Yeah, it looked like Williams, as well as I think Liggins, had a double slant into the middle of the field. I'm pretty sure Javon Williams kind of broke free of his defender. However, he wasn't in the end zone yet, so Sims went to go try and get his guy to make the play.
3rd and 8 from the 11. Simeon looking, again, we're probably in 4-down territory right here. And like to score a touchdown rather than try and take 3. Man in motion, Williams again, and flag flies. I think this one might be coming back, Caden.
Yeah, Cooper Temple's on the bench now, getting some water, getting ready. He only will play defense for a little bit. He needs to get ready to throw. See who this flag's on.
And while we're doing that, we're looking at the sideline. Cornell Conley in street clothes for the Wolverines, I should say. See him there in the white hoodie, number 9. So he is, we assume inactive for this game, and that's a huge blow for the Simeon team. Again, he's their leading receiver, the junior is, with 416 yards and 5 touchdowns, a 3-star recruit.
Yeah, when you have the most yards and the most touchdowns on your wide receiver core, he also plays cornerback. You have a big loss without question, and that's something that you're going to have to overcome if you're the Wolverine offense.
See if someone can step up and make a play. Normal West makes the play. Malik Givens picks it off in the red zone, and Normal West takes over.
Malik Givens with the turnover. He is a junior. And that kind of just flips the script right there, John. You know, you are marching down, both offenses march down the field. You get to the red zone, and you give it away. Something that Coach Sinqui Turner talked about pregame was against Memphis Park last year, they had multiple drives in the red zone that they just couldn't convert in.
So Wildcats will take over deep in their own territory. After the big play from Givens. Caught that touchdown, then makes the interception. Hand off to Mulbauer, runs right into Christopher Burgess. Says, good afternoon to you.
Yeah, Burgess slams him down. We didn't call his name the whole first drive. However, it doesn't seem like Normal West is too afraid of him because they keep rushing it to his side of the field.
Burgess lining up as sort of more a linebacker here.
Well, that's a way to get him off of the double team, John.
It certainly is. Full house backfield here for West. Mulbauer in motion. Temples keeps and runs right into a wall of defenders. A pickup of about 4. They'll set up about a 3rd and 2. If you're Simeon here, you can alleviate the sting of that interception by just getting a stop here and forcing the Wildcats to punt deep in their own territory.
Yeah, and punt today is not going to be an easy task thanks to the wind. And who knows, maybe Simeon might not even realize they're going for a punt since Cooper Temples does a good amount of their punting, who is lined up at the quarterback slot.
He's done some of it, hasn't done as much of it lately, but always a candidate for a fake. Handoff here, and Temples keeps it. I don't think he got to the line, Caden, but it looks like he is either short or very close.
Yeah, a lot of defensive line penetration there for Simeon. If it is or it isn't, it was a great effort from the Wolverines.
And talk things over, spot the football, and bring out the chain gang. So, always a moment of suspense when the man in the big orange sticks come out.
Yeah, you don't see it too often in high school football, but nonetheless, it's always an exciting feat just to see where this chain gets dropped at. Indications look like it's a first down. It is. Temples just got barely enough to keep it moving. And that's a tough pill to swallow there for Simeon. You're so close to getting out the field, but now you got to be on there for 3 more plays unless they force a turnover.
John, if that wasn't a first down, do you think they would have gone for it on 4th?
I think it looked like they were hustling to the line. It looked like maybe they would try and catch him off guard, maybe get him with a hard count. We saw him draw offsides once earlier. So the drive moves on from the 16. 2.5 to go here in the first quarter. Givens, a 32-yard touchdown reception from Temples earlier in this one. He'll get the handoff here and not much doing as Randolph got back into that tackle along with multiple other defensive linemen. There's been multiple Wolverines involved in almost every tackle so far today, Caden.
Yeah, they're not going at it one-on-one. Instead, they're getting some group Wolverine attacks. Not like a wolf pack. They're not a wolf pack, but they are a Wolverine pack.
Wolf pack. We'll go with that. 2nd and 10 here from the 16 and 4 wide receivers again. Now Mulbauer in motion. Screen pass out to Givens. Getting a block. He dropped the football, and it goes out of bounds. He got lucky there, but could have been a costly mistake from West.
It'll be interesting to see if they give him the yards that he gained or if they're going to call it an incompletion.
Depends if he made a football move.
They're saying he made a catch, and he's going to get those 2 yards, and 2 yards is better than 0.
Still makes it a 3rd and 8. Now Simeon a better chance to get off the field here. Under 2 minutes to play. Simeon lined up in tight coverage in the secondary. No one else in the backfield but Temples. He looks to throw. Big man coming his way. That's Burgess. Temples looking to throw. Now he'll tuck it and run. He's got the first down and scurries to the safety of the sideline. Big play from Temples as he had a 4-star commit running right in his grill and beat him to the outside.
Yeah, he even got Janelle Connor, who got probably a little bit closer than Burgess. Janelle Connor already has 3 sacks and 2 tackles for loss on the team, 2nd most sacks. And, got very close, but just a claw off, to keep with that analogy, John.
A lot of claws on the field today.
Oh, yes.
Especially the claw marks at midfield, sort of the alternate logo for Normal West. Mulbauer with the run, runs right into Andre Burns, the senior.
Yeah, Burns with about 4 tackles a game. Somebody who's going to go and make the disruption once Burgess gets stopped. John, we've seen Burgess in a lot of different spots today, and you have to think that's Turner trying to get him off get him one-on-one attempts.
And he still had an effect in this game. Like we said, not always a direct effect. He doesn't always have to be the person making the plays, but he draws lots of attention. Mulbauer draws some attention too. Draws another first down for Normal West. They've just been so methodical today, Caden. And this Wolverines defense, if they can't get a stop, they could be a long and tiring afternoon for them because they've been on the field for most of this first quarter.
Yeah, they just the flag was just thrown for a sideline warning. I thought it was for a late hit on Lamar Hobbs. Instead, they called a sideline warning on Normal West after that first down.
Wildcats offense will get the play call from the sideline and head back. Again, they just thrown just 1 pass today, but it was that touchdown to Givens. Under a minute to play. Moving right along here in Central Illinois. Temples will keep this one and run up the middle. Flags thrown there. Maybe a face mask on Simeon. Looked like the arm of either Randolph or Burns got up near the grill, but we'll see what this is about. And it is a face mask on Simeon. That'll give Normal West an extra 15 right there.
Yeah, Burgess was the first man there. However, those 2 came in, and 3 of them could have brought him down together, but that arm went high, and face mask or not, it looked apparent enough, and the ref's got to call that every time.
Now move it down to the 43. West has had the ball for about 9 or so minutes of this first quarter. Tough to win football games when you don't have the football. Caleb Sims and the Wolverine offense looking to get back out there. End around, no. Temples keeps it this time again. Brought down at the 40 as Hampton on the stop.
Unlike that first drive, John, this started very slow. This started with those 3rd downs and shorts, these just barely able to scratch and claw for a couple yards, however, a lot of big plays has gotten them to this point, and I think the clock might just be run out as it is.
And it certainly will. Normal West, a strong first quarter. They hold the ball, they hold the lead, and the momentum as Temple's leading his offense down the field here at the end of the first quarter. Brought to you by Sunflower Real Estate. We'll take a quick break here from Normal and be right back. You're watching Clutch Sports Media.
Michael's Italian Feast, home of the best subs, pizza bread, grilled cheese, and Italian beef around.
The best pile-high subs and hot sandwiches in Central Illinois. And no one has better homemade, always fresh from the oven bread. Michael's Italian Feast.
That mountain of boxes won't pack itself, but Peoria Production Solutions will. Let us handle your packaging and assembly. Our highly trained team uses computerized inventory control and specialized equipment to ensure your customers receive their items on time. Let us help you grow and scale your business. Give us a call or visit peoriapros.com for a quote today.
Did you know missing 2 days of school a month makes me less likely to read by 3rd grade? I'm committed to being at school on time every day and ready to learn. Are you going to join me?
And right back here in the first play of the second quarter, Givens, a big run for West to pick up of about 20 or so. And there's again those Normal West wide receivers getting involved with the run game. Givens has more rushing attempts than he does receptions this season.
Yeah, you know, the and-arounds is what's killing Simeon right now. They've been able, this drive, they figured out the run up the middle, but when you swing them around and get them outside the numbers, the corners aren't able to get them one-on-one with the extra wide receivers blocking.
And it leads to a trip to the Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone. First trip by either team. Normal West didn't even need to reach it last time to score. Mulbauer runs it up the middle, sheds a tackle. Tough run there from the sophomore, and both the running backs today, not just Mulbauer, but also James Bell of Simeon. Guys that are both very fast, but also pretty tough runners as well, and hard to bring down.
Yeah, you know, especially James Bell, when we talk with Coach Turner, somebody who's just going to go and fight with grit and just work. He said that the one improvement was his vision. He said everything else he's got like a senior.
Yeah, and that's how you get on the field as a sophomore for the Simeon team. He's been doing it all as there's an offside there on the Wolverines. It'll march the Wildcats a bit closer and should set by first, and goal.
First and goal now, just kind of give in to them. And, you know, a team who's been using all 3 downs to get the first, when you're sitting on the 8-yard line, should be a little bit easier of a path into the end zone. No?
And a timeout there by Simeon, I should say. And again, Kenny, we talked about at the top of the broadcast, this is a rematch of the first-round playoff game from last year. And Normal West won that game pretty handily, 37-6, before they ended up losing to East St. Louis in the second round. But, you know, even though they're facing the same team, I was talking with Nathan Fincham, he said we can't really use their film from last year's game because it's a new coach, new system, and obviously some new players like Christopher Burgess, who wasn't playing in last year's game.
Right, you hit the nail on the head there, John. You don't discredit Normal West for doing what they did because it's the same program. However, you can't approach it as the 2 same teams per se, especially because, like you just said, different coach, couple new players, and just it's a different team. Even though they're the same programs and you have to hold it with weight that happened last year, you can't hold it as this is the same matchup.
It's definitely not. Simeon hoping for a different outcome this time around here in Normal. Second play of the second quarter, and it looks like there was a false start there. Malik Givens trying to get a fast start out of the blocks. Yeah, it's an offensive offsides. Don't see that too often. Usually it's a false start.
No, normally when you see those, it's those people on the line that want the extra set because they're afraid of who they're about to go after, and they want that extra second to get up and get in their position to guard the defensive line or the linebackers that are quickly approaching.
Now first and goal from the 12. Mulbauer running left, has a whole pack of Wolverines chasing them, and they beat him to the outside. A nice tackle there. Looks like Terry Lee Jr., the senior corner, got in on that one. He is arguably the captain of that Wolverine secondary.
Oh, without question, he is the captain of that secondary, John. But I also saw Charles Smith. He plays a little bit of outside linebacker. He plays a little bit of safety, flying in and penetrating the neutral zone, or flying in there at the end, breaking the line, and nearly getting the tackle. He's a key player that you'll have to watch. And I think we got another false start, John.
That's an offsides on Simeon. So that'll push him right back to the 6. Lots of laundry here in this second quarter.
Yeah, we saw 1 on each defense the first quarter. Now we're in the red zone and we've seen 3.
Notice ball just yo-yoing back and forth for Normal West. Now back inside the 10. Mulbauer split out wide here. Temples, the lone man in the backfield at quarterback. Now the handoff to Mulbauer. Runs it up across the 5, keeps him churning. He is inside the 1, oh so close to the goal line.
Yeah, Mulbauer has a handful of passing yards, so you can't really depend on or say he's an irrelevant factor when he lines up so far out. But once he gets in that backfield, once he swings around, you have to get ready for him once again, and you have to act like he was there all along. And that's a hard thing to do for a defense.
And it's so multiple and versatile. That's how you describe this Wildcat offense. 3rd and goal now from the 1.
They have Colby Mulbauer on the sideline, John.
And now they'll call a timeout and talk things over here on 3rd down.
And maybe that was just to give a breather to Mulbauer and get him back on the field. Maybe it was because they didn't like the look. Either way, we'll take a minute.
Yeah, winner of this game will face the winner of East St. Louis and Springfield. That game going on this afternoon. A little bit more Friday games, at least talking about Central Illinois teams. Don't know where the Chicago teams, how many teams up there are playing here today, but at least down here, a lot more games were on Friday nights, Caden, as, first run of the playoffs. Sometimes you just want to, stay in that rhythm of playing on Friday nights and not wait the extra day, although later on in the postseason, you usually see almost exclusively those Saturday afternoon matchups. But a couple other teams in action. Metamora playing Centralia today, Class 5A. DMAC and Farmington down in Class 2A. Small town matchup there. It should be a good one. This one, though, the first one in the area to kick off. 3rd and goal. Temples keeps it. Brought down. I don't think he got there. Huge stop for the Wolverines. Many guys, many blue hats got in on that play.
And now everyone wearing black looking to the sideline asking what they want to do. Offense seems to stay out there, and I think they're going to try and go quick and punch one in.
West has been moving the ball forward well today. All they got to do is move it forward, maybe not even 2 feet.
Got extra offensive linemen out there. Only one in the backfield is Temples.
Temples will run it. Tries to power it in. He got stopped on the first attempt. The second attempt didn't get in either. A huge stand from Simeon, and there's a big play to get some momentum.
When you're less than 1 yard on, and it's from the end zone, and it's 4th down, everyone says go for it. But they just got lit up on 3rd down. They didn't think twice. They didn't try and change their formation. They tried to do it on the same exact play. Simeon's defense was ready for it, and after marching the whole field, getting inch by inch, they couldn't get that last one.
Tough one to swallow there for West. I credit the Simeon defensive line there again. So many playmakers, and the front 7 really, that's where the weight room, that's where that work in the summer comes into play right there.
Well, that's also what 9 games does to you, and the wear and tear of 9 games in the season, or the buildup of getting stronger and getting those situations prepared of pushing in the first 9.
Again, it was a big learning experience for Simeon last week against Morgan Park, so I'm sure they took a lot of good things away from that game. Run up the middle just to get out of their own shadow of the end zone, and it did pick up a couple. Run there, looked like possibly by Javion Williams.
It's not an easy feat to try and run the ball when you are on your goal line, because you have to win the matchup between the offense and defensive line to be able to push it anywhere. However, throw-in results is making a safety warning. So very tough situation. You got a great turnover, but now that you were less than closer to the end zone than you were the 1 yard line, you got to scheme up something good to get out of this.
1 man in the backfield for Caleb Sims.
Trying to get him to jump.
2nd and 7. He lost the football. Normal West has it right on the goal line. Was it a touchdown? It is. Recovered by 32, Drew Hart. And just like that, the Wildcats got that touchdown. Maybe not the way they drew it up, but still the same result. Huge play. Johnny on the spot, Drew Hart.
You can't forget about that last drive and not being able to convert on 4th and goal. However, that's giving it back right there. You don't have to hang it in your head in the locker room that you miss out on those points, because the brother of Brady, Drew Hart, was out there and made the play and made the stop. Drew doesn't play as much as his brother Brady does, but he came up with the big play here in the postseason.
Well, Drew and Brady play about the same amount. Brady's been a bit more productively just numbers-wise, but Big play there from the West senior linebacker. PAT is up and through, and the Wildcats lead 14-0. So now the Wolverines just got to hit that reset button again. You want to hit that reset button after that first drive. Normal West moved it methodically against you. Scoring drive brought to you again by Papa John's. And a turnover by Simeon, brought to you by Force Basements as well. And I thank them and all the rest of our sponsors here today. But, eventually, you got to stop hitting the reset button and eventually just kind of get something going. Again, still lots of time left in this ball game, really down 2 scores, but you do want to at least establish some rhythm and momentum on this offense.
You do. You need to turn something around. It's not that they've had any bad drives. I mean, they got into the end zone. They just weren't able. They threw the pick instead of being able to convert. When you look at the Wolverine offense has had 2 drives. They had the first drive that ended in an interception. They had the second drive that ended in a fumble that they Drew Hart just took into the end zone, and then he went out and held the PAT. John, I feel like that has to be noted. He did the hard work and then got to do the simple job to make sure we got the full 7.
Hey, holders we said last night's broadcast, punters are people too. Well, holders are people too as well. Those PATs could come on big, especially if this one turns out to be close. And, again, turnovers, you just can't have them in playoff games, or you at least want to limit them as much as possible. Because teams like Normal West and many other teams will make you pay for them. As the kick will be sent away. And it's a low liner. They'll run all the way into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So not a conventional kick from Jagger Phillips, but gets the job done and eliminates the possibility of a big return. Simeon does have some dangerous guys in the return game.
Yeah, they got 2 guys that are both averaging more than 30 yards a return. It's high school ball, but that's still a large number. Would rather just put it on the 20-25 and just let it ride.
Isaiah Thomas, their main kick return guy, also their number 2 option in the backfield. Haven't said his name a ton today, but we'll see if he gets involved. And Sims looking to kind of put a tough last game behind him where he went 4 for 19 for 113 yards and a fumble last week. Ran 5 times for 16 yards in that loss again to Morgan Park, but 7 wins in between the first and last games of the year. Tackle in the backfield by Jackson Hill. And not much doing there. Maybe got back to the line.
Yeah, they didn't give the ball there to James Bell in the backfield. They gave it to the wide receiver in Javion Williams. And that didn't seem too much like a jet sweep or an and around. It seemed more like a traditional run. Maybe it was because of the last drive. They wanted to put the ball in somebody else's hands. But I don't think that's Bell in the backfield again either, John.
And looks like Thomas in the backfield this time. Sims out of the shotgun. Senior quarterback, a bigger quarterback at 5'11", 205. So when he does decide to tuck it and run, he's a hard guy to bring down. As we get a timeout called by Simeon, that's their final timeout of the first half. They'll talk things over here with 8:06 to go here in quarter number 2. Looking to get their first score of the game, and these Wolverines have been used to playing on the road. But they've been pretty good on the road this season. Obviously, longer road trip this time, but you see there, they're 4-0 on the road this season, plus 55-point margin. That's just about as good as they've been at home, too.
Yeah, Normal West, they're at home. They're stronger than they are on the road. So it really is the battle of the 2 teams' is stronger sides out here today. Caleb Sims there, he didn't really like what he saw. He was trying to change the play up. Maybe he was trying to communicate out to his wide receivers and just ran out of time. So it forced Turner to use his final timeout.
A good look at the scenery, or maybe a lack thereof, just interstates and cornfields. Central Illinois in a nutshell right there. Short gain there for the Wolverines on 2nd and 10. They'll put them behind the sticks here on 3rd down. Beautiful day again for football, Caden. I mean, about high 50s, low 60s, few clouds in the sky. It doesn't get much better than being able to just wake up in the morning. Don't you have to wait until the evening. You just get to get out and get your football fix, and here in the early afternoon. Again, glad you're with us here in our WMBD Game of the Week on CIProud.com.
Yeah, you don't have to go to work first. All you got to do is put on a sweatshirt, maybe some gloves and a nice hat, and come on out and enjoy some football.
Simeon will try to enjoy a first down here. 3rd and 10. Sims looking to throw, brings it in as Thomas. Makes a move. He's got first down yardage and more. Cutting it back against the grain. Tripped up eventually by Sean Watkins, but that's a massive pickup of about 32 on 3rd and 10.
Yeah, Isaiah Thomas, kind of their second back behind James Bell. We've seen him all drive. We saw him a couple times already on the kickoffs. However, there he got the ball, he got to the outside, and he showed off his speed, making a couple guys miss.
Almost broke it free for 6. But Watkins got him by the shoestring.
Yeah, one could say a lucky tackle. Others would say a skilled tackle there for Normal West.
Now Simeon going into West territory as we get a stoppage here. Taekwon Page heading off the field. Logan Alvarez coming on for West. Again, secondary has already come up with a big play as Malik Givens had an early INT on Sims. Sims dropping back, looking to the left side. On a slant and go is brought in by Javion Williams. He made the catch inside the 15. Back-to-back big plays.
You know, when we started this broadcast off, we were talking about Cornell Connolly. We saw him in street clothes, and we said, what's Simeon going to do now with the passing game? They've started with the running game, and they've been relying on the running game. However, they still need to pass the ball, too, and these 3 wide receivers behind him, not even their number 2 wide receiver in Jamari Burns, Javon Williams, Raymond Liggins, and the rest of the committee has been filling the void well.
Another completion there, that time to Keelan Jones, who started to get more involved in the pass game as well. Multiple guys stepping up, again, without their junior 3-star wide receiver, Cornell Conley, who, again, is inactive today.
Yeah, and as you were saying, John, with undersized players earlier on the broadcast, talk about a 5'6", 150-pound sophomore there in Jones making that catch.
Pickup of 7 there on first down. Now Simeon's inside the 10. Low snap and a handoff to Bell. He got inside the 5 before a couple Wildcats brought him down, including Zion Jackson. Would be a huge score for Simeon here to get it back to a 1-score game. You feel like you're right back in it, and if you can turn the ball over twice and only be down 1 possession, you got to feel pretty good about yourself.
I mean, I would say so, John, and it looks like Normal West is going to use a timeout, try and shake some things up on their, or maybe get a different formation. I mean, they were doing a lot of last-second changes. Maybe they just want to slow the flow of the Simeon offense down after a couple big plays.
First time out of the half for Simeon, or I should say for Normal West, rather. Simeon's burned through all 3 of their stoppages.
You know, John, that interception earlier on was the 15th interception of the season for the Normal West team. They had 5 last week against
Urbana.
Against Urbana. The Wildcats are 6-1 in games this season that they had a defensive takeaway in.
Hey, that's what they talk about in the NFL. You know, if you can, maybe not just get a takeaway, but if you can score on defense, which they actually already did, that fumble recovery touchdown by Drew Hart, you're going to win most of the games that you play in. So I was going to say this secondary has played very well this season. Logan Alvarez, Jackson Hill, Sawyer Philemon, Efoy Baskins, Taekwon Page. There's lots of guys for this Normal West team that can fill in and make big plays in the defensive backfield.
They've got a big guy in the backfield. That's Andre Thomas, the junior offensive lineman.
He's going to run as a blocker, and flags fly here. And it's going to be a false start there on Simeon.
That was Christopher Burgess as well in the backfield.
Hey, if you have a player of his caliber, I would say why not put him wherever?
Unless my eyes deceived me, I was trying to look at names as well as looking up. Their backfield consisted of their star defensive end, the Notre Dame commit, as well as an extra offensive lineman.
Yeah, that was Andre Thomas, big number 64, 5'11", 300-pounder back in there, but it'll move the Wolverines back up 5. It's first and goal from the 8 here, about halfway through the second quarter.
They've got a normal set now with Thomas and Sims back in the backfield.
Thomas and Bell have split snaps about evenly in this game in the backfield. Another flag down.
Flag on the play.
That is going to be a false start on Simeon. So you get down to the 3-yard line, Caden, but now you move back 10, and now you're at the 13. I don't know if you're still in field goal range at all. Maybe scoring a touchdown just a bit harder.
Not only did it make it harder, but you also have shown your playbook. I mean, this first play you drew out, you find something on the last page. That last play, the snap occurred. You saw what formation they wanted to run, but now you got a first down and goal, and you're at about the 12, 13-yard line, and you got a lot of ground to make up.
Liggins, the receiver at the bottom of your screen, trips to Sims's right. He will hand off to Thomas, but good diagnosis there by the West defense, and Efoy Baskins is pumped up after that stop.
Yeah, Baskins, one of the two-way players for Normal West, who does great work as a wide receiver as well as a safety. The young sophomore's got a lot of promise in his remaining 2 years with the Wildcats.
Yeah, he's definitely a player to look forward to. Again, he's made strong contributions receiving the ball, running the ball. He started playing defense back in week 5, and has been a welcome addition to that secondary. Pickup of 1 on first, now second down, pass to the sideline, and incomplete. Sims was looking for Bell out of the backfield.
Yeah, you know, he really followed his man there. I'm not sure how open Bell was, but he didn't really look at any other progressions. He stared down Bell, tried to fit it in the opening, and overthrew him just a tad.
And Sims comes in with pretty strong numbers. Over 1,000 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. Threw one earlier today. Was throwing some nice passes to get his team in scoring position. But they got to convert here on a 3rd and 12. A 3rd and goal, I should say.
3rd and 12 is not a great 3rd and goal, John, by any means.
West drops back in their zone. Sims looking for the back of the end zone. Now tucks it. In some trouble. He has to get rid of it. Running backwards. Still in trouble, still throwing, looking for a man right into the hands. Tip drill. Is it picked off? I think it is. Wild play there on 3rd and goal. A West player is down. It's an interception.
Intercepted in the end zone by the Wildcats.
Looked like that may have been Taekwon Page, number 23, getting the pick there, and he strikes a pose in celebration.
And there is a man down for Normal West. John, first 3 drives of the game all end in a turnover. That's not how you want to start this game if you're the visitor.
Yeah, 3 turnovers. Ending all 3 drives for the Wolverines. That pick there by Page. That turnover brought to you by Force Basements. And yeah, it's just so tough to turn the ball over 3 times and a half. But again, if your defense can give you a stop, again, you're still in this ball game as they tend to the injured Wildcat. That plays seem to go on forever. That was kind of a risky throw there from Sims. May have been better just tossing that one away. And again, you do have 4th down to work with. Just tried to force that throw a bit too much right there as the injured Wildcat. Looks like that might be Keegan Brown potentially.
Yeah, Brown, a big part of that defensive line for the Wildcats. You know, as you were saying, John, that's where your running back or your tight end on a quick route is what you need when you need somebody to leave the when you need a running back or a tight end to do a chop block, get out there and just be ready for that catch in an emergency situation. Sims was all eyes on the end zone, and when he had already ran 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage, it's hard to try and just hail one up and expect it not to be covered.
Yeah, it gives the defense time to kind of catch up. You want to hit a guy in stride, and, unless you can really pull a fast one on your cornerback or safety covering you, it's tough to find that open spot. So Brown has helped to the sideline. Nicholas Ruiz comes in to replace him at defensive end. And the Wildcats will take over on the 1. I bet they would have rather had the touchback there, but Page just got out of the end zone.
quickly before we go back to Brown, the junior leads the team in sacks with 3.5. So a big hole is going to be missing on the defensive line for the men in black.
Bad snap by Normal West. That's going to be a safety for the Wolverines.
That's
talking about making something out of nothing right there, and you don't want to give up the pick, but you get 2 points. Now you get the ball right back and a chance to score.
That's not at all how you want to get your first points of the game, especially when you were in the red zone 2 times. However, you will take it, and it's now a 14-2 ball game, and you're going to get the ball right back.
A little bit of a tough snap there by Kyle Tennis, the Normal West center. Temples either just wasn't ready for it or was a bit off target and just was wrapped up by multiple Wolverines ready for the stop there. So, hey, that's good resilience from Simeon, making a play, being there. And part of it was the bad snap, but you got to credit the guys that were there to make the tackle. And that one they knew right away, throwing up the little safety sign.
Right, and just bad snap or not, you still got to win your matchup. I feel like there's that added intensity once that ball goes over the head from the defense to go out and just get it. If you see a ball on the ground, you don't know if it's alive. You don't know if it might be alive, it might be dead. You see a ball on that ground, you have that added intensity to be faster, go out there and get it.
The silver lining for Normal West is, Temples didn't fumble that snap there. Otherwise, it would have been 6 for the Wolverines instead of 2. They will get the ball right back on this safety kick here from the 20. Man back to return at the 30. Looks to be potentially Thomas for Simeon. Kick by Phillips is away. Brought in at the 30. It is Thomas. Across the 40, now going to the right. Has some good blocks across midfield. Running out of room, but still a great return. A pick up of 30 there on that return. You mentioned I have some dangerous returners that average about 30 yards a pop.
Yeah, Cornell Connolly, he is the second returner for this group. Of course, he's in street clothes over there. But the guy who just got it, Isaiah Thomas Jr., he averages over 30 yards a punt and kick return. And, I think he's been about, if not more than 30, all 3 so far this afternoon. Huh?
So the job is simple there for Simeon as you get a look at some helicopters. Driving by, boy, how about a bird's eye view of, I bet this game looks very picturesque from up in the sky. First down run is going nowhere for Simeon. Sawyer Filament and Charlie Moore combining for that tackle on Sims, who kept that, or rather Javion Williams, who kept that one.
Yeah, Javion Williams tried to get another PA sweep, get to the edge, and he was met by Charlie Moore and, as you said, Sawyer Filament. If he got around those guys, would have probably been a first down. There was nobody behind them. However, the 2 big guys were able to make the stop.
About 4 minutes to go here in quarter number 2. Simeon looking for their first score after 3 turnovers. Sims throws this one and completes it. Back to his sophomore in Jones again. He's been a busy man who's came up big again in the absence of Cornell Conley.
We don't know if Cornell Conley was scratched or when he was scratched, so we don't know how long he has been out, and we don't know exactly if Keelan Jones knew his role coming into today, but he, as well as a couple of these other wide receivers who don't get as much time, have been getting a lot of pass attempts, and they've been making the most of it, John.
3rd and 2 now from the 34 for Sims and the Wolverine offense. 4 wide receivers. Pass out to Jones again, looking to get around, and a diabolical hit there from Filament. They'll set up 4th down.
Yeah, Filament is back-to-back now plays, made some nice stoppages at the line to gain, and it's going to bring is this 3rd or 4th down, John?
This is 4th and 5.
Okay, they said on the PA 3rd, but I see the 4 up, so I was double-checking. When you're this close, you have to go for it. There's not a field goal option, and when you're trailing 14-2 with 3 minutes left in the half, you got to try and just keep pushing.
You got to be able to compound those good plays to make a comeback. They got that safety. Now can they get the second big play here on 4th? Sims looking out. He's got Jones open for a moment. Now Jones going down the sideline. Back to the middle of the field. Complete to Liggins. at the 20. That's one of Sims' best throws of the day, and it picks up 17.
Yeah, he was able to find the window and perfectly place that ball for Liggins. You mentioned Jones was open. Jones was open, but Jones was standing 2 yards in front of the line to gain, and there was a couple Normal West guys behind him. I'm not sure and not confident if he made that throw to Jones, he would have gotten the first down. He read his options, worked the progressions, found the guy in the window, and was able to get the first down because of it.
Now inside the 20, Ashley Furniture Home Store red zone. They'll go back to the ground this time, and not much doing as Charlie Moore was one of the first Wildcats there.
You know, one name we have not been calling, obviously with Cornell Connolly out, we've been talking about how the rest of the wide receiver committee has been working hard. Jamari Burns has been out there every play for Chicago Simeon. He averages over 50 yards a game, second most behind the 3-star in Connolly. He hasn't even gotten a pass attempted to him so far this half.
Yeah, Williams been doing it more in the run game for the Wolverines. Wildcat defense, though, has been standing strong. They've only allowed 20 points combined in their last 4 games. Now, given 3 of them have come against lower-tier opponents, but still a good mark right there. Sims facing pressure and brings it to Thomas, who makes a move, ducks out of a tackle, and picks up about half of what he needed on 2nd and 10.
Yeah, they brought 5 or 6 guys, and immediately the line was broken. Sims had to get that ball out quick and found a man and was able to get a couple yards. That's what you need to do, is just keep chipping away. You don't need the big play every time if you can just work down this field. And I think Simeon learned from their 2 turnovers in trying to leave a guy in the flat for him to be able to throw a quick pass to when he gets in trouble.
So now 3rd and 6 officially from the 15. Sims has looked good this drive against this stout Normal West secondary. Facing pressure this time. He is not going to go down. Nearly a pick. Philliman had it in his hands. It would have been the 3rd interception by this Wildcat secondary today, but instead it sets up 4th down.
He tried to get it to his senior and his wide receiver, too, in Jamari Burns, but Burns and Sawyer Philliman have been playing a lot of man coverage tonight. Sawyer Philliman may be the reason that Burns hasn't received any looks. It looks like, however, they are going to go for it again on 4th down. This is the 2nd 4th down attempt in this drive.
I think you have to see if they can make more 4th down magic here. Liggins at the bottom of your screen. Williams and Bell in the slot. Now Thomas in motion. Sims looks his way. Now it's a pass across the field to Williams, who got the first down. Nice play call there. Kind of looked one way, looked the other way, and Williams just cut across that field on that in route.
Yeah, he got to the line of scrimmage, and they have not officially called this a first down.
It looked like from our angle it would be.
This is an official's timeout. They are going to bring the chains out once again, the 2nd time this afternoon.
This is a huge play here. If Normal West can force the turnover or Simeon can have the chance of still scoring. It is a first down for Simeon. Our initial suspicions are correct.
I think they gave Normal West a little bit of a good it was a good spot for Normal West there. Even so, chain gain makes it a 1st and goal. John, it does seem that number 42, Keegan Brown, got just helped into a golf cart for the Wildcats. I would safely assume the defensive end will not come back out onto the field this afternoon.
He's just chilling in the golf cart, just watching from the shade, and obviously he doesn't want to be watching the game, but if you do have to watch and be on the sideline, it's not a bad spot to watch from. You can definitely tell he's a little upset he can't be out there for his team. He's been a very strong presence on that D-line. You mentioned leading sack player, leading in sacks for Normal West there, rather, and 36 tackles on the season, and he had a huge game. We saw him back in week 5 against Peoria High. Now it's just time for someone else to step up. This Wildcat defense has been really banged up this season. They have been without their returning all-conference linebacker, Briar Lienerman, since week 3. They've also been without defensive lineman Lakin Moore since week 3 as well. Another couple injuries here or there mixed in to go along with them.
Well, and as we talked about in the pregame, this is their 3rd quarterback. The first went down due to injury.
It's Drew Mangrum.
Yeah, first went down to an injury, but second they just decided to move on from Payne to Cooper Temples.
Now first and goal rather, and another big stop by the Wildcats. A Wolverine helmet pops off. That was the ball carrier, Bell.
Yeah, first man there was Efo Baskins. Line was penetrated with a heavy, I think 7 or 8 man rush, and immediately got lit up.
Now clock inside of 40 seconds. Simeon's got to be wary of that. Second and goal, Sims looking to throw. He's got a man, brought in by Givens. What an interception. He's going to take this all the way. The one-handed tip and the 6 points to finish it off. His second pick and second defensive score of the half for Normal West.
Givens with 2 interceptions.
There's a flag down, though, in the backfield. We'll see what that is. Back at the 20-yard line. But what a play from Givens. I don't know how he brought that one in.
I didn't think he had the length to just tip the ball, let alone catch it. And look, if he didn't catch it or tip it, as a matter of fact, that was probably going right into the breadbasket for a touchdown.
That looked like a great pass to Thomas until Givens just flew across the middle and picked it off. But we did see Taekwon Page trying to bargain with the ref a bit. This may be on the Wildcats, but we'll see. Maybe it was on the return as well. It's going to be a chop block on Simeon on the return, so no touchdown.
Post-interception penalty on the Wildcats.
Or rather, a chop block maybe.
Chop block on the Wildcats, Normal West.
On Normal West, gotcha. So that will not be a touchdown for West, but still they snuff out a potential Wolverine scoring drive. That's now the 4th turnover from this offense in the first half. Lone points coming from their defense.
4 drives, 4 turnovers, John. That's not how yes, you have your safety. That got you 2 points, but you can't win a football game if your offense isn't putting stuff in the end zone.
So 17.1 to go, and Temples just takes the knee. No need to force anything. A strong defensive first half for Normal West. Malik Givens with 2 interceptions. Drew Hart, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Givens also a 32-yard passing, or I should say receiving touchdown as well. And it's a 14-2 lead for West. It feels like a bigger than a 12-point lead. So Simeon still, though, in this game.
Yeah, Simeon not out of it. It's only a 12-point contest. That's just, 2 touchdowns without the PATs ties this one up. However, the key to the first half has been 4 offensive drives and 4 turnovers, a fumble and 3 interceptions for Caleb Sims and his offense.
Simeon has looked good at times, but trying to just hold on to the football here in the second half. That second quarter was brought to you by United Way. Again, glad you're with us for an exciting first round game here in Class 6A. We'll take a quick break here from Normal and come back with our Bob Grimm Chevrolet halftime show. Stay tuned right after this.
Looking for a new pair of boots? Time to replace that old cowboy hat? Branded Country Wear is Central Illinois' one-stop shop for all things country. From jeans to boots to accessories, Branded has something for the entire family. Stop in Monday through Saturday and let our friendly, knowledgeable staff make your shopping experience one to remember. Or shop online 24/7 at brandedcountrywear.com. Branded Country Wear, where Central Illinois does country.
Essential Wellness Pharmacy empowers patients to improve their health through good nutrition, lifestyle modifications, and supplements the natural way. See what our knowledgeable staff can do for you. Located in Peoria and at essentialwellnesspharmacy.com.
Join us for our holiday cheer and homemade market. Learn more at MackinawValleyVineyard.com.
Elite Sports Recovery is an inclusive wellness facility for all ages and expertise. Our certified athletic trainers set the standard for recovery with cutting-edge equipment. Rebuild, restore, recover. Elite Sports Recovery. Book online today.
Did you know that missing just 2 days of school a month puts your student at risk of not learning how to read or graduating high school on time? Every student deserves a bright future, and the first step is showing up. We'll see you at school.
For all your roofing needs, contact Triple D Roofing. Licensed, insured, bonded, and servicing all of Central Illinois. Set up your free estimate today and start upgrading your home to become the talk of the block. Say goodbye to wind damage and leaky roofs.
I'm Dave Hamilton, owner of Triple D Roofing, where we take pride in using quality products at affordable prices, and you always get the service that you deserve. Call us today.
Hi, I'm Webb. I'm the sales manager here at Perfect Choice. We offer windows, siding, roofing, and full bathroom remodels. Whenever you buy a bathroom off of Perfect Choice, something that we do is we don't just walk in and give you one color and one style like a lot of companies in our area do. One of the coolest things is we have a program that allows you to put the pictures and see the colors and actually visualize what you're gonna get before you ever purchase it. But you know, regardless of how long it takes, that it's gonna be done by certified labor and done the right way, our way, Perfect Choice way.
Why call 2 men in a truck for junk removal? If you're like Sarah, you've got a full garage. You need space, and you need it now. You want pros who make this look easy. That's why, for junk removal, you call 2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck.
And welcome back to normal. The host Wildcats leading the Simeon Wolverines 14-2 in a Class 6A first-round matchup. 8 seed versus 9 seed. It's always a close matchup. But Normal West, 3 or 4 first half takeaways for them, and they lead right now at home, looking for a second straight win over Simeon in the first round of the playoffs. We're joined by multiple special guests here from the Normal West volleyball team, also having a fantastic season as well. We have Olivia Zemer, Ellie Rink, and Avery Feltis here in the booth with us. Guys, fresh off a regional championship game. A regional championship title, I should say. Tell me about that win and just the season as a whole for all of you guys.
I think talking about the regional championship game, we definitely had not our best start, but I thought the way our team really fought through that and never gave up and kept pushing was really good, and that will continue to help us in the postseason.
Yeah, we found the solutions that we needed to find to be able to win the game.
Definitely. No, and then obviously, again, I know it's been a fantastic season for all of you guys. First off, I'm gonna take a stab at the record, 34-3, something
so.
like that.
Yeah, I think so.
That is quite the winning percentage. I know you guys bring so much back from last year. What's been the most fun part about this season for you guys?
I think making relationships with every new person that has been added to the team, and also just growing the relationships that have already started, and just keeping that up.
I would have to say the same. I think just competing as a team, fighting as a team has been really fun for me as well.
Yeah, we recently had a Halloween practice yesterday, and it was really fun. We all dressed up, had some fun.
Definitely. Well, you guys still dressed up now. I know you guys are all, you can't see it right now, all in costumes right now. Got the bald caps on right now. Turned around, was a little taken aback. What, do you guys have a specific look or person you're going for your Halloween costumes, or just kind of going crazy?
I'm Caillou.
Oh, there you go. Took me a minute. Yeah, Caillou.
I'm supposed to be Pitbull, but I don't have my goatee yet. So, yeah.
Dale.
I'm Gru.
There you go. Well, hey, great costumes. It's obviously Halloween costume day for the Normal West student section as well. And, I know you guys, obviously, a lot of Fridays, probably on the road, playing some tournaments as well. How many times have you been able to come out to football games at all this season?
This season, we've actually been able to go to quite a few. I think 5 5-ish. 5 games.
Pretty.
Every home game we've been able to go to.
Well, nice, definitely. Well, I know you guys have, been going to different tournaments as well. I know going to sometimes as far as, I know how far the first of you guys gone. Where have you guys gone to, play this season?
We've been to Lyons Township twice, and then we went to Aurora and played our St. Charles East tournament, which was really competitive and a good tournament as well.
It's always a fun time going to those away tournaments. You got the bus ride, maybe the hotel stays, always fun times for sure. But guys, coming up, huge sectional semifinal game, playing your crosstown rivals, Normal Community. What's going to be the biggest key for you guys in that game, and how excited are you for that?
I think just staying confident, knowing that we've put in the work all season and just going out and playing as a team. I think that's something we do well that not a lot of other teams have. So if there's a tough moment, just staying together will help us a lot.
Yeah, I think just sticking together and playing Wildcat volleyball.
I think we also have to be really consistent and have a lot of intensity because community is a very intense team. So, and obviously it's at our place, so that just gives us an even more reason for it to have more intensity.
That's really going to be a marquee matchup on Tuesday. One of the best sectional games, if not the best sectional game in the area against Normal Community, who's also having a great season as well. But guys, I want to thank you for your time. Again, Normal West Volleyball having a fantastic season. Guys, appreciate you stopping by the booth, and best of luck as a team with state title aspirations. And maybe we'll get to see you guys later on the season. Maybe you'll get to even stay home here at Normal to play in the state title game if you can make it that far. So again, Olivia Zemer, Ellie Rink, Avery Feltis here in the booth with us. Guys, I appreciate you stopping by. We're going to take a quick break. I caught up with Normal West quarterback Cooper Temples earlier this week. We'll be right back after this. I'm here with Normal West senior Cooper Temples, a key piece of the Wildcats on both offense and defense, even special teams at times. Cooper, I know it's been a big senior season for you. Just overall, how fun has this final year in a Wildcats jersey been?
It's been great. Last year was cut short, so I think I've just taken my opportunity all year long and make the most of it.
Definitely. I know that, junior year obviously ended with that, that injury. Tell me, what was the injury like, what happened, and then also what the comeback process was like and what you had to go through there.
So I dislocated and broke my ankle. So I was out about 8 months doing a lot of rehab multiple times a day, missed lots of school, had to do it in and outside of football practice, outside the trainer's room, so did a lot of my own. So really it was just a ton of hard work to get back to where I am now.
Definitely. And, I know that it's, it is hard to come back from an injury like that, but you've obviously done it very well. What did you just kind of do? What does a recovery just kind of look like? Is it mainly rest? Is it exercises? What is it?
At first it's a lot of rest, but then we go into getting most of my flexibility back, which then leads into getting my strength back, and then I can put into some drills and keep on moving, start slow, baby steps at first, and then kind of ramp it up as things go further along.
Definitely. And you had a full recovery before even the first week of the season. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Also, well, and Cooper, I know you got offensively, wide receiver, defensively, or defensive back, if I'm not mistaken. Are you all over the place?
Right now, recently I've played quarterback, running back. The last couple of games I'm at quarterback doing multiple option stuff, some running back, slot receiver, and then I'm at middle linebacker on defense.
This guy's a positionless player, no kidding. And I would gotta ask, what's the favorite position though of all the many different hats that you wear?
Probably quarterback because I get the ball in my hands every play.
Definitely. Well, it's a Normal West offense that allows that Wildcat offense. They live up to their name for sure. And Cooper, obviously a huge touchdown for you against Peoria High. What have been some kind of big, key kind of core memories that you've had through this season?
Oh yeah, for sure. That one against Peoria High was big. I don't know if I can pinpoint plays. It's kind of just, I feel like every game there's a moment in the game where I have my moment, so I couldn't really pick one out of the crowd, but I'm sure there's a couple that it'd take a little bit, but I could think of some.
Definitely. Well, Cooper Temples, a guy that can't pick one moment, but has lots of big moments, and hoping to have more for Normal West here today. Guys, back up to you in the booth.
Central Illinois, we're going to overtime.
4 years of preps coverage in Central Illinois, Clutch Sports Media is ready for a new era. CSM Overtime.
What is CSM Overtime? We're going beyond the broadcast to give you in-depth coverage of your teams.
Your stories.
Your stats and standings.
Your highlights and action shots.
With your subscription, you'll get to see news and feature stories from all sports, up-to-date stats from around the area, and thoughtful analysis from our team of experts.
As for our broadcast and social media coverage, it's only getting better.
With your support of Clutch Sports Media Overtime, we'll continue to grow our free broadcast coverage with more sports, more games, and more innovation.
And thanks to our partnership with Too Efficient Media, your social media feeds will be filled with Central Illinois' best sights and sounds.
CSM Overtime will also give you access to full galleries from some of the most talented photographers and videographers in our region.
As the new season approaches, it's time for more.
More action.
More stories.
More coverage of all Central Illinois sports. It's Clutch Sports Media Overtime.
And welcome back to normal. Wildcats leading Chicago Simeon 14-2 in first round matchup here in Class 6A. Lots of turnovers, lots of big plays, lots of excitement here in the first half. Look at some other scores and games from around the area. Again, not many games currently going on right now. This was the first game in Central Illinois to kick off today, but Caden, some other games to watch. Again, Metamora taking on Centralia. That's the Class 5A game. Another 8-9 matchup between the Redbirds and the Orphans. Well, again, one of the more unique nicknames in all of Illinois. I know there's some crazy ones out there. Orphans always near the top of it.
Yeah, I don't know if there's too many crazier ones than that, but the Redbirds on the road won't have an easy fight. It'll be interesting to see what happens in that 8-9 matchup.
Definitely. And then just across town from here at 5 p.m., a good game coming between Lamont and Bloomington. Lamont comes in as the number 11 seed, Bloomington the 6th, but that should be a great match with two strong teams. I think Lamont could give Bloomington a good game here at Fred Carlton Field. Other games going on today, Olympia nearby Normal is at Nashville, big road trip down south. DMAC taking on Farmington, and then Princeville in Class 1A action hosting Stockton. That game just kicked off shortly ago. Not too much long before the second half starts. We'll take one more quick break and come right back with the second half. Wolverines try to come back on the road.
At Papa John's, we start with better. Like taking marinated oven-roasted chicken and tossing it in our hot lemon pepper sauce. Or how we hand toss our fresh, never-frozen signature dough made from 6 simple ingredients. And now, our dough can save you dough when you order from the Papa Pairings menu. Get 2 or more Papa Pairings favorites for just $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. Order now on the app.
The Bob Grimm way starts with us.
The Bob Grimm experience, what I like is that, you put customers first, make sure we meet every expectation and make a long-lasting relationship with them so that, they know that we're here for them and for their friends and family.
Don't try to put someone in a car that is not going to work for them. If you don't have what they want, try to get it, the proper vehicle. Again, just treat people the way you'd want to be treated and a fair deal.
That's the Bob Grimm way.
Essential Wellness Pharmacy empowers patients to improve their health through good nutrition, lifestyle modifications, and supplements the natural way. See what our knowledgeable staff can do for you. Located in Peoria and at essentialwellnesspharmacy.com.
We are Local Union 649. Our commitment to safety, our state-of-the-art training facility, and our pride in the work we do to build America is what makes us stand out from the rest. We are Local 649 of the International Union of Operating Engineers, and we are looking for the next generation of equipment operating apprentices. With Local 649, you'll find more than a career. You'll find a family, creating legacies since 1917.
Michael's Italian Feast, home of the best subs, pizza bread, grilled cheese, and Italian beef around.
The best pile-high subs and hot sandwiches in Central Illinois. And no one has better homemade, always fresh from the oven bread. Michael's Italian Feast.
Family banking from a name you trust. Hometown Community Banks. For over 6 decades, we've been here right where you needed us. High-quality banking services delivered by caring professionals. People just like you who live and love Central Illinois. It's a history we're proud of and one we'll continue to offer to every person who walks through our doors. When you bank in your hometown, your money stays in your hometown. Hometown Community Banks. Divisions of Morton Community Bank. Look for the clock tower and you'll know we have time for you.
From the very beginning, she was my support, my cheerleader, always giving me the best she could. Now it's my time to find the best for her, and that started with a call to Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group. Their lifestyle transition experts became part of our family, working with us to find the right fit for Mom, making sure she was ready, and getting her excited for her new home. Shannon Fauner, Sunflower Real Estate Group, the key piece to your puzzle.
Elite Sports Recovery is an inclusive wellness facility for all ages and expertise. Our certified athletic trainers set the standard for recovery with cutting-edge equipment. Rebuild, restore, recover. Elite Sports Recovery. Book online today.
Passionate. Focused. Strong. Qualities that you look for in a great athlete. And also a great lawyer. At Strong Law Offices, injury law is at the heart of what we do. Our team is on your side. When the game is on the line, let us tackle your claim.
And welcome back to normal. Back just in time for the second half, and Simeon will receive to start, trying to make this a one-possession game. After a turnover-filled first half, we'll see what they have in store after the intermission. Thomas with the return here, runs it out across the 20. To about the 33. So solid field position here for the Wolverines offense, Caden, who has moved the ball well through that first half. But again, keys are just simple. Just hang on to the football and don't force anything.
Look, when we talked with Coach Sinku Turner in the pregame, one thing that he made comment on is just because the score was 42-6 last week against Morgan Park, don't discredit how good the team was. They were able to move the ball down the field. However, they weren't able to put the ball in the end zone. Same thing today. They've made multiple red zone visits just like they did last week, however, unable to score.
Yeah, if Simeon's been able to, if they were able to just finish off 2 of those drives, we're looking at a tie ball game, maybe even a Wolverines lead right now. 1st and 10 from the 32. Handoff goes to Bell, runs into a massive humanity. It's a big TFL. Romeo McCollum, the nose tackle, and others getting in on that action.
Yeah, first time calling the sophomore's name this afternoon. Yeah, you know, not really any progress was made there by Chicago Simeon. I would personally like to see them try and throw the ball a little bit more this second half. They got into the trouble with the interceptions when they threw it in the first half. Don't discredit them, John. However, the run game kind of has been snuffed out consistently by Normal West, or if not snuffed out, when they're running it in between the hashes.
And the interior linemen for West have been coming to play today. And then we'll go up the middle again. This time a different result. Bill moving past the Wildcats. He's just got Philemon to beat. Gets a block. Runs right into Philemon, who brings him down. A strong tackle. That very well could have been a Simeon touchdown, but Philemon got off of his block.
That was an first off, insane run there by James Bell. He broke the plane. He was able to keep his stride with his speed, and he showed his aggressiveness that we were talked about pregame. However, that was an even better play by Sawyer Philemon. All that Bell had to beat was the one-on-one, and I don't know if it was really that Jamari Burns wasn't able to secure the one-on-one block, or it was Philemon's quickness that was able to get around and get the tackle and put him behind the 20-yard line.
Down to the 23, a pickup of about 45 on that play. Thomas going to keep this one in short. Watkins brings him down.
Yeah, that was about a 5-yard loss, maybe 4, John, and that really shows you the defensive line, especially the linebackers like Sean Watkins, who had 49 tackles entering the game. Their ability to penetrate the neutral zone and just make those plays.
It'll be a loss of 3 there. A big stop from the middle linebacker. That again, another smaller guy for West, at just 5'5", 160. There is nothing small about the way he plays.
Yeah, West might not be able to size match up, but they can skill match up pretty much every team.
Most definitely against any team really around. Handoff goes to Bell on 2nd and long. Not much doing there. Romeo McCollum claps his hands in celebration. He'll set up a 3rd and long here from Simeon. They go back to that run from Bell. They've ran into some trouble here near the red zone once they get down to it. And it would have been really nice if you're the Wolverines just to finish off that run, not even have to worry about trying to get snaps in the red zone.
Well, certainly. They're bringing a lot of new, fresh faces out there. I see they got Baskins. They have Givens, who made already 2 interceptions. They're just trying to get some new formation out there for Normal West's defense, because 3rd and long, shouldn't expect another consecutive run.
Baskins, the deep safety. Williams, the receiver at the bottom of your screen. Sims looks one way, now the other. We'll toss it to Burgess. Tipped, nearly brought in by Philemon. Burgess was in the vicinity after the tip, but it falls incomplete, and it'll be 4th and 14.
I mean, they've played Burgess in every spot tonight. They've lined him up in the backfield. They've made him a wide receiver. He's been a middle linebacker. Honestly, I've seen him more in other spots than I have seen him on the defensive line. When you got the Notre Dame commit, why not try and incorporate him? And it looks like, I'm not too surprised, but it looks like it might be a 4th down attempt here for the Wolverines.
Yeah, not surprised at all to see Simeon stay on the field here. You know, you're definitely not punting from here. You're not kicking a field goal. You're kind of in that no man's land, and they need to get to the 13. Sims is throwing some nice passes on 4th down today. We'll see if he can continue it. He's got an empty tray set. And whistles and a flag in the backfield. Asking to be a delay of game on Simeon. Now makes 4th down even harder. Now 4th and nearly a country mile.
In this Normal West field here at Wildcat Park, it's not like it's an easy field goal attempt. It's high school ball. And secondly, it's just a wind tunnel here. And despite whatever strength Chicago Simeon's kicker believes he has, it'll be a different feeling once that ball goes off his foot in the air. So I'm not too surprised they're going to attempt for it again, but it's going to be a hard task going 5 out.
5 wide receivers for Sims. Looking for a big throw here. Has time. As he throw it, got a wide open man. He couldn't connect with Williams. No one was in 5 yards of him, and they just couldn't bring in the pass.
I'm not sure if that was Williams or that was Sims. Williams, without question, was slowing down there to make the catch, but that ball just didn't seem like the timing was right. However, Normal West brought 6 in. The middle linebacker and Watkins went right up the middle and put his hand in Sims's face. Impressive that Sims was able to get a clean pocket to throw that football.
And another turnover for the Wolverines. Not the traditional turnover, but still another one for them. Now it's up to the defense to make a stop. Simeon has had so many chances and has not converted on the big ones once yet today. And again, it's credit Sawyer Philemon for keeping 6 points off the board for Simeon. Big play by the defensive line as Charlie Smith talked to Chuck. Big tackle there on 1st down. Smith, a key linebacker for them, 2nd leading tackler behind Burgess, had 9 of them last week.
I'm pretty sure Andre Burns also got his face in there, the senior defensive end who's currently at the bottom of your screen on the line.
Watching an eye on there's a offsides there by Simeon. Clear call there as Donovan Watkins jumped across the line.
He's the young one on this defense, the sophomore. Pretty much everyone else is a senior. There's one or two juniors, but only sophomore on the defense, just like how Bell's the only sophomore on the offense for the Wolverines.
Such a senior-led team this Wolverines squad is, but you look at some of their bigger players like Bell, still sophomores. Temples with this run, going to get wrapped up by Andre Burns, the 6'6" D lineman. And I'll set up a 3rd and long. So again, this Simeon front 4 has really kind of started to kind of snuff out these interior runs from Normal West as this game has gone along.
It's a long 3rd down for Normal West. They have not seen many of those in the first half. It's their first 3rd down attempt in the second.
7:30 to go here in the 3rd. Temples tries to get him with the hard count. Now looking back, they'll audible. Offensive coordinators sending out the signals. 6 left on the play clock. Now Mulbauer in motion. Fake handoff. Temples wrapped up by the jersey. Gets out of it. Now going the other way. In trouble. Still on his feet somehow. Brought down from behind. A 1st down saving tackle there from Brian DeMoss, the sophomore. That's going to set up a 4th and short. Great play from the quarterback, just keeping that one alive.
Yeah, Darrell Hampton had the jersey there. Christopher Burgess nearly came in and made a 2nd attempt stop. Yet Temples was still able to get nearly to the line to gain. It looks like they're going to go for the 4th and short.
Would be a huge conversion here. And Simeon is going to want to talk things over before this one, so they burned their first timeout.
Simeon used a lot of their timeouts early on in the first half, John, showing that they're willing to do it here as well. Didn't work out for them, but we'll have to see how it plays in here.
And Temple is showing off his speed. He's one of many Wildcats that are very, very fast. You look at some of these guys' track times, lots and lots of track runners on this West team. You got Mulbauer, Taekwon Page, Jackson Hill, all pretty solid 100-meter times right there. You got Alex Austin, one of the better triple jumpers in the area. And then Logan Alvarez, one of their star cornerbacks, is a pole vaulter. That's done pretty well in the past spring. So a lot of two-sport athletes here for Normal West. And I was talking with Nathan Fincham before the season. Back before week 1, I said, you guys have made the playoffs 14 or 15 straight years. Why have you been able to do that? And he said, well, because it's been, we just have all-around athletes, guys. We encourage our guys to play multiple sports, stay fresh. It helps them out for football. And it looks like Normal West will punt it away. It's a very short punt. Wolverines going to let this one go down to the 38. So just a 21-yard boot there on 4th and 1. West decides to just send their defense back out there, and why not? They've been making big plays all afternoon.
I could be mistaken, John, but I'm very confident that every offensive drive for Simeon has ended in a turnover of sorts.
They have not scored, and they have not punted. So you would be correct there.
Yeah, I mean, when you have that kind of a look, why wouldn't you send the defense back out on the field instead of giving them a favorable field position?
Now they'll test out and see if Sims and Bell and company can get into the end zone. Incomplete pass there. Sims not on the same page as Keelan Jones. And I'll set up a 2nd and 10 here from the 38. Some smoke behind the end zone and burning out of the exhaust of the ambulance behind there. So interesting.
It looks
right there as they throw a deep, big throw, nearly brought in by Javion Williams. Hit him in the hands, and he couldn't bring it in. Second big play that could have been for Simeon. They just haven't been able to execute.
The pass went in the breadbasket and out just as quickly off the hands there. I mean, they've had a couple big plays today, but a couple of them as well, like that James Bell run in the first drive. They just haven't been able to capitalize, or they haven't been able to convert some of these bigger plays.
And Williams and Sims try to connect on that fourth down. He was wide open. And in the end zone, wasn't quite sure if the pass was off or Williams just couldn't bring it in, but that was a missed opportunity. Now it sets up 3rd and 10. Another passing down. Sims looking for his man, and Liggins just fell down. And just still some discombobulation in the Wolverines passing game right now. Now they'll come out for their first punt.
Not sure if the timing was off on the last play, but there, just as you said, Liggins was already on the ground before the ball got thrown. So unless if Sims threw it that way to try and draw a pass interference call, not exactly sure what that throw was about, unless if it was him just trying to stick with his timing, because it doesn't appear to be that his timing has not appeared to be on recently.
Well, I think that was more about Liggins being able to, he fell over on that play, so it's hard to catch passes when you're on the ground. As the Wolverines will punt it away with Lamar Hobbs. Givens can't bring it in, picks it back up, and going to be brought down immediately by Xavier Magruder out of the 25. Came close to being a potential muff there, and that would have given Simeon some pretty good field position. But instead, West takes over halfway through the third.
Yeah, Magruder kind of stuttered there before attempting the tackle. I feel like if he went at it full force, he would have either gotten the ball or punched maybe a ball out as he tried to lift it up. We haven't called Magruder's name a lot. He was one of the players to watch from Simeon's head coach, Sinku Turner, as well as we knew coming in to watch Terry Lee Jr. However, these corners haven't gotten their names called tonight because Normal West hasn't been laying it out deep.
And that deep pass on that first drive to Malik Givens, and since then it's been lots of runs like this from Cooper Temple. He's got the first down. The ball came out at the end, and Simeon clearly had it. Was his knee down? It was not, and the Wolverines get their first turnover.
That was turned over by corner Demarion Williams. The senior got his first turnover of the season.
Yeah, it's the second fumble recovery of the season.
Flips the field now for in this contest, and as the Normal West defense comes back out, it is good to note that during that last drive, Keegan Brown came back out in street clothes. Several of his teammates have came over, give him some fist bumps, give him some words of encouragement, but he is definitively out the rest of this contest. Another big key injury on Normal West's defensive front.
Well, Normal West has been able to keep things going in his absence. Now Sims flushed out outside the hashes. Just going to tuck this one and run it into the Normal West sideline up to about the 41 or 40-yard line.
Yeah, he has 30 rushing yards on average a game, and it's not hard to see when he's just comfortable moving out of the pocket like so.
Haven't seen Sims run the ball a ton today. He's a solid runner, got 45 carries for 254 yards and 7 touchdowns coming into this one. Had 5 runs for 16 yards last week. Senior trying to keep his high school career and his team season alive here in Normal. Williams, the motion man. It'll be a give to Bell. Plows forward, now back, now he's still on his feet. Bell's got the first down inside the 25. Where did he come from? What a run there from the sophomore.
He realized that the line, he wasn't going to get much trying to stick with the offensive line and get pushed, so he bounced back out to the behind the numbers, got all the way to the end, and was able to run up the sideline for a good gain. And again, Sawyer Filliman once again making the stop on him late down the field.
One of the best runs from James Bell today. And it puts Simeon in the red zone now. And again, this is crunch time for the Wolverines. They've been 0 for 3, 0 for 4 in the red zone here today. Now can they just hang on to the football, really, and hang on and get a touchdown out of it? Motion man. Now Will Sims runs it and just right into the teeth of the defense as Sean Watkins and Torrin Deleri in on the stop there for Normal West. Really, there wasn't much anywhere to go there on that run for Sims. Normal West had it covered in all facets right there.
Chicago Simeon has not been able to follow a big play up with a score yet, besides the safety, of course, so far in this game. They would love to do so right here, but second and just a tear past the 10. Not bad by any means, but they still got some work to do.
Trips to the left for Sims. He's looking to pass. No one open. Now he's going to look to run. Now throws it. A dangerous pass as Givens was in the area. A late flag came down. We'll see what this was about. Maybe a potential pass interference on the Wildcats.
Yeah, the sideline of Normal West is all signaling a brush, a tip. They're trying to contest it.
And they're waving off the flag there, so no pass interference. It'll be 3rd and 10. Taekwon Page was in tight coverage there for Normal West.
Yeah, you know, Simeon arguing that nobody touched that ball. No matter what, that was a tough throw for that Sims attempted. We've seen him get the ball through a couple windows. That was more just clean double coverage.
Hasn't been, they've had some quick out routes they've been able to get open, but kind of those slants and those ones across the middle have largely been covered up today. Bell evades the leg tackle, pulls over a man for extra yardage. He just trucked Malik Givens and got down to about the 7 or 8. He didn't get the first down, but it makes 4th down a whole lot easier.
Yeah, that made Sawyer Philman a little bit slow to get up. But back to your point, James Bell, there's a reason that they bring him or let him start as a sophomore, because he's physical, because he's willing to run in between the shoulder pads as well as kick out to the edge, and he shows so there by giving the extra effort until the end. John, not sure if you noticed, but that was a big substitution just happened, literally and figuratively.
Marquell Gibbs, a 6'1", 330-pound lineman in on this play. Some extra muscle for Normal West. And we're going to get a timeout called by the Wildcats here ahead of this big 4th down. Again, another 4th down situation in the red zone. If you're Simeon, you would have liked to maybe kind of had that kicking presence if you really needed to. They're going to have to go for it here. And Normal West has been, they've been great on 4th down, and they've been great out of timeouts here this afternoon.
No, they have been. You know, Normal West has done a great job of controlling and containing their mistakes, as well as rebounding from those mistakes. They've scored 14. It's not like they've been rallying up the scoreboard, John, but they've looked consistent throughout the night and have been able to just keep making the key plays when they need to.
Throughout the afternoon, it's been tough for us. We're so used to saying night, evening on our broadcast, but this is our first afternoon one of the season. And again, it's been a great day for football here in Normal, and especially if Simeon can punch this in. We have a heck of a ball game on our hands. And also credit to Simeon's defense. You know, Normal West, they've been able to keep the West offense on the sideline quite a bit over the last quarter and a half or so. And they've made some key stops like they just did on the last drive. Big 4th and 2 here. What does Simeon go with? 4 linebackers for West. And there's going to be an offsides call. That'll give Simeon a 1st down. They don't even need to run the play. Great hard count there from Caleb Sims.
It's always a nice breath of fresh air, to put it nicely, when you're able to get this fresh set of downs and not have to even move the football.
Rare miscue from Normal West. I don't see them commit many penalties like that, but it'll give Simeon a 1st down inside the 5 now. Sims hands it off to Bell, chugging ahead, and there's the first touchdown for Simeon. Took them over 30 minutes to find the end zone, but they do get it in. It's a 1-score ball game here at Normal.
That's the first touchdown, as you said, for Normal West. That's the 7th rushing touchdown of the season for James Bell. He now ties quarterback Caleb Sims with the most rushing touchdowns on the year for the Wolverines.
James Bell, the sophomore, a big run to help get them in position, and then he finishes it off from about 4 yards out. And Simeon looks like they are going to go for the PAT here. Looks like Davion Payne as a flag will be tossed on this attempt. Now that'll be Carter Davis with the PAT attempt. It's a false start. So now this point after gets a little bit trickier. You mentioned, Caden, this is not an easy place to kick at with the wind. We'll see if Davis can tack on this one more. But either way, still a one-score game, and that's what you wanted if you were Simeon.
Right, you know, he was warming up pregame, so he kind of has a sense for it. But it's been a long time since he's attempted a kick in this wind, and all the kickoffs by Simeon have been kind of low laser shots.
High snap, but a good hold. It crawls over the crossbar, and it's 14-9. Simeon keeping this one a game after losing 37-6 to Normal West in the first round last year. Listen, this one's going to be a much tighter fight this time around, and that scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's.
Simeon, without question, more happy for the touchdown, but a lot of excitement after that PAT went in. The breath of fresh air that now, okay, we've been trailing the whole afternoon, but is only a 14-9 game.
Yeah, you know, it feels like, given the way this game has gone, that, you know, Normal West is leading by a lot more, you know, given how many turnovers they've had. But, you know, Simeon has just kept themselves in this game and made some big plays. Got to give them credit. They've had some big plays against them, some penalties, yes, for sure, but they are still in this one. Now we'll see if Normal West can kind of reestablish that rhythm. We haven't seen much of it on offense since that opening drive.
We haven't, John. You know, they had the big 32-yard pass to Givens from Temples. Since then, Temples really has just ran it himself or handed it off to Colby Mulfer. And not like that's a bad strategy, but need to incorporate the air soon.
Temples runs into a pile of humans, and he'll get about the 41, 42-yard line.
John, add kick returner to Temple's list of positions.
Yeah, no kidding. He should have played defensive line or offensive line for a snap or two, just to say he's done everything. You know those baseball players sometimes in spring training, they'll play all 9 positions just to say that they've did it. Maybe Cooper Temples can do that at some point.
You know, John, both these two teams entered 7-2 on the season. Both were 3-2 against playoff opponents. You know, it's one thing when you have a season where you're 7-2 and you skate by not playing any playoff teams, or you lose to all your playoff teams and you beat all your weaker teams, but both of them have been able to get wins when it mattered, and it's shown today by a good contest of 14-9.
And this one's been about all you could ask for. Bolbauer around the motion. And another strong tackle from Simeon. Pick up of about 2 or 3.
Yeah, Andre Burns there on that last play. We've talked about Burns a couple times, especially late in the second quarter. When you got Christopher Burgess lining up kind of as a linebacker, so to try and make it a one-on-one attempt for him instead of allowing Normal West to double him at the line, you need the defensive line to be able to get there quick and make stops, and Burns has been.
And Christopher Burgess, the Notre Dame commit, he's chasing Temples here, and he completes the pass to Malik Givens right at the sticks, just short of it actually. They'll set up 3rd and inches from the Simeon 47.
We've called Gibbs' name a lot tonight on offense as well as defense. He's been one of the key contributors, being able to bail out Temples as well as create havoc for Sims.
3rd and about maybe 2 inches. See if Temples decides to keep this one. He is the only man in the backfield here. Simeon packing in that defensive line. It will be a handoff, or rather just a keeper rather for Temples. And he got what he needed to and keeps the chains moving here late in the 3rd quarter.
Right, didn't get much there, but got all he needed. Tried the hard count, tried to do what Simeon did on the other side of the field and get the free first down, but Simeon a little bit more disciplined. Temple's got that earlier on this afternoon, not able to here. Doesn't matter, he still gets the first down by his own legs.
Temple's had a 100-yard rushing game against Manual in week 7. 8 rushing scores on the year, 3 passing scores, and 1 receiving score. A little bit of a trouble on the handoff, and Mulbauer is going nowhere as Terry Lee and Andre Burns bring him down. Burns has been playing a nice game, especially on those motion plays where Mulbauer comes across the backfield.
Yeah, Burns is a name we've said a bunch, but also Terry Lee is one of the top defensive players for this group. However, he plays a true corner, and we haven't been able to see him much because Temples hasn't been airing it out, but he was able to come there and stop the end around pretty decisively.
2nd and 10 now from the 46. Simeon feeling a little bit more jazzed up than they've been all day. Temples will hand it off up the middle to Mulbauer. That time he's not doing much either. Just a pickup of 1. So tough running into the Simeon defensive line, Caden. And if the Wolverines are able to walk out of here with a win, I got to give huge credit to that front 4, front 7. Been able to stop this Normal West rushing attack.
Yeah, that was Darrell Hampton, the leader on the stop there. Just as you were saying, it doesn't just, it starts with Burgess because you have to put so much pressure and attention on him, but it's the rest of them that make it count and who do their jobs, win their matchups, and make these stops.
Big 3rd down here. Temple's looking at the sideline. The head coach, Nathan Fincham. Now we'll send Mulbauer out. Temples keeps it. And running up the middle, he's going to come up short. It's going to set up 4th and a decision for the Wildcats, and it'll likely come after the 3rd quarter break as Simeon gets a touchdown from James Bell here in the 3rd, and it looks like Normal West will just run this one out to end the quarter.
I'm a little surprised they didn't try and draw him off because, you know, they kind of knew they were going to take this to the end, but just kind of standing there was a little bit surprising. Either way, still have the lead.
About all you could ask for here in Normal Class 6A first-round action. 12 more minutes to decide a winner between Simeon and Normal West. Cooper Temples has his team on the move. That 3rd quarter brought to you by Peoria Production Solutions. Back after this. Don't go anywhere, folks. Playoff football on Clutch Sports Media.
Illinois needs volunteers, and you can make a difference. Be part of a global community of people who care. Discover the joy and satisfaction that comes with improving your community and the lives of the people living in it. United Way connects volunteers who are ready to work with opportunities in the local area, driving real change made by individuals like you. Join United Way in improving the lives and communities around us all. Sign up today at volunteer.hoyunitedway.org.
And welcome back to Normal. Missed the first play of the 4th quarter, but it was a big stop from the Simeon defense, and their offense takes over with a chance to take the lead now. Another big play from this Wolverines defense that has just looked so good after the halftime break.
Normal West did what they've done all game and tried to run it when it matters, and this is time Simeon was ready for it and made the stop in the middle of the field, switching it over to Caleb Sims.
Yeah, it's been tough going for West when they go up the middle and much more fruitful on the outside. It's a run there with James Bell, again the sophomore, pick him up about 5. And Normal West has to dig deep here, Kate, and this is ultimate crunch time with your season on the line, but both times we've seen them this year, they've pulled out and closed games. A 33-27 win over Peoria Notre Dame in week 1, 20-18 win over state-ranked Peoria High back in week 5.
You know, Normal West, they've had a couple not as challenging matchups recently, but over at the end of the day, they have 300 points for this season, 175 against.
Handoff. Looks like that may have been Jackson Hill. Or rather, no, James Bell on the tackle there. Jackson Hill from running back for Normal West. And Bell picks up the first down. And no need to force anything if you're Simeon. Yeah, turnovers were their Achilles heel back in the first half. And if it wasn't for those turnovers, Caden, I think they'd be leading right now and trying to just kind of nurse this one out in the fourth quarter.
Well, they've been in the end zone double, if not triple, the amount of times as Normal West. They just haven't been able to convert until last drive with James Bell and the running it in.
Yeah, 1st and 10 from Wildcat territory. Bell's got some holes, or rather that's Thomas outside the markers, and there's a penalty flag down. This one could be coming back with maybe a holding.
Was a 4-yard gain by Thomas, and he worked for all 4 of those yards.
Simeon's looked a lot better on offense. It's kind of just settling into this game, really. You know, they had some big plays in the first half, but looked a little jittery at times. Now they look a little bit more confident. You can tell that their defense really is, you know, not just helps stop Normal West, but helps kind of pump up the sideline. You know, see that, you know, Wolverines are engaged. They're cheering on those big plays. You know, helps keeps them locked in and pumped up and say, hey, we can win this game on the road.
And on the contrary, this is the first time that the Normal West offense has kind of all been sitting down on the bench, having kind of group discussions, not keeping their head, I'm not saying they're putting their heads down, but not the energy that they had in the first half, John. It's kind of been a flip.
Has been a bit of a flip again. This is, you know, a first really big game for West in the last couple weeks as Simeon takes a timeout. They only have one left, and given how close this game is, Caden, I don't know if that'll come back to bite them later on in this game, but they've been quick to burn their timeouts here in both halves.
Yeah, you know, when you have a play, when you have a flag, you can't come back after the flag with and call a timeout. That's just a traditional no-no, and now you only got one left on top of it, John.
Especially if they would perhaps looking to need to either stop the clock against Normal West, try and get the ball back, or try and, you know, slow the offense down, or, you know, slow the clock down. If you need a game-winning drive late, you know, that could come back to bite them. But, you know, maybe they can draw up something big here on 1st and 15. Again, Normal West went ahead 7-0 early in the first quarter. Then Brady Hart, or rather Drew Hart, for Normal West, recovered a fumble in the end zone midway through the second quarter. Made it 14-0, and since then, a safety and a touchdown run from James Bell has gotten Simeon back to within 5. As a man in motion, Sims in trouble. Kidwaro was coming right behind him. And a short pass complete to Raymond Liggins, but I think he barely got back to the line, and there's another flag down. Lots of laundry here in the second half, Cade, and we saw early on there wasn't many, but it's increased throughout this game.
No, each segment of the game, exponentially more flags have been thrown.
And it's going to back up the Wolverines even more. A hold there, moves it back 10, and we threw out the you know, third in a country mile term earlier. Now they are officially in country mile territory. This is going to be about 1st and 25 or so.
Yeah, John. And
or do they pick it up? The ball's still at the 46.
They had to have picked it up, or they declined it to keep it 2nd down and 16.
Yes, that is what they did. So it is still 2nd and 15 with 4 wide receivers. Hand off to Bell, running to the right side. And gets back to the original line. Sets up a key 3rd and long, but again, 4th quarter on the road. season on the line, I think you're going for it almost every time you're on fourth down situations if you're Simeon. Kaden.
Right, you're definitely in four down territory, John. But I mean, think about how this drive started. The timeout, and preceding the timeout, you've taken 2 plays to get back to where it started before the flag. So now you're looking at a burn timeout and a third in a probably a third and a 9.5. We'll give them the advantage if they got over the 10, but not where Simeon has wanted to be in this possession.
This would be a situation you'd love to have Cornell Connolly, the junior wide receiver, but again, inactive today. Sims looking for a deep ball in traffic, picked off by Givens. His third of the afternoon. He's going to run this one back to across midfield. He's got blockers. Philliman blocks another guy, a huge return.
Yeah, taken down there by Giovanni Thomas, the big junior offensive lineman. Efo Baskins needs to get a lot of credit for that play. He tipped that ball up perfectly for Givens to get his 3rd interception of the night.
You know, we talked about Givens. You know, he is listed on the roster as a wide receiver. You know, that's what he mainly is. He runs the ball, but he's been making his presence felt on the defensive end, just been always in the right spot. And his 3rd pick of the game, I think his 2nd off of a tip as well. And that sets up Normal West in great field position as well to try and get a 2-score lead here midway through the 4th quarter. See if Temples and Mulbauer can get this offense energized. They've only been responsible for 1 scoring drive, the other score coming from defense. Temples runs up to about the 25 as a flag just flies into the scrum. Again, that was on the stop there, Jarrell Hampton.
Let's see if the dirty laundry flies both sides or if it's another one for the team in white.
And it looks like it's going to be a face mask on Simeon. At the 28, that's going to give I think half the distance to the goal.
Half the distance, a first down. What more can you ask for?
I keep on forgetting, Kate, I watch too much high school or too much college and NFL. It's just a 10-yard penalty in high school. So first on now at the 18-yard line rather than the 14.
Simeon's defense needs to light that spark like they did to start this half and get the touch and fire that offense up to get the touchdown. And now they are pushing the ball a little bit further.
Now the referees were second-guessing themselves as well. So it is half the distance. Turns out we were correct all along, Caden. Cheers to us. 1st and 10 from the 14, and Simeon's got lots of men in the box. Temples runs up the middle with some good blocks. He's brought down by Burgess at the 5. 9 yards on a run in the red zone. You're never going to complain with that.
You are not, and you're now nearly in the end zone. And, I mean, the hole was just wide open there for Temples to take it.
And this West offensive line, outsized but not outmatched. Provides some holes. Mulbauer running to the outside, cuts it back in. He's in for a Normal West touchdown. It's 20-9, home team here in the 4th quarter. And that's now a 2-score ball game.
It's the 13th touchdown of the season for Colby Mulbauer. Man who kind of leads this offense. You know, they've had 3 different quarterbacks. They've had 1 running back, and he's been able to move the football every time they give it to him throughout the season, and that includes today. And as long as the PAT stands, it'll be a 2-possession game once again.
It's going to be a 2-possession game regardless. And in this PAT, coming in with 8 minutes left to play. Snap is bad. Trying to get something out of nothing, and their holder is going down. Xavier Magruder tackles Drew Hart there, and so it remains a 20-9 game, Caden.
Yeah, 11 points means you can't worry about a field goal and a touchdown unless if you get a 2-point conversion. I know math is not our friend, as we were sports comm majors in college, but if a PAT touchdown field goal doesn't do it. You need 1 extra element if you're Simeon, and you got to start thinking about that, John, when there's only 8 minutes left on the clock.
Not much time left, but still enough time, though, for sure. That scoring drive brought to you by Papa John's. And a first touchdown for Normal West in the equivalent of 3 quarters of game action. They got a scoring play with 8:03 left in the first. This one coming with 8 minutes left in the fourth. After that interception by Malik Givens. His third of the afternoon. He's made so many good plays. Had that receiving touchdown as well. He had that pick six, but was called back because of that chop block, but the interception still stood. And Efoy Baskins, again, got the credit for the tip there. Got it right into the hands of his teammate. Phillips sends this one on a line drive into the end zone. There'll be a touchback. And Sims will take his team back over at the 20-yard line.
Yeah, that was just a hair away from Thomas to be able to return it, and exactly what you want if you are on the blue and white sideline.
So we'll see what Sims has in store here. Again, we haven't seen him run a ton today. Most of the runs have came from a combination of Bell, Thomas, and Williams. Maybe is this a drive for you trying to start to maybe take a deep shot if it's open?
Yeah, you know, one thing, John, to definitely note, I'll tell you after this play.
1st and 10. Sims, lots of time to roll out. Nice throw. This time complete to Javion Williams. He's out of bounds.
Yeah,
nice route there.
Got out of bounds quickly, stopped the clock, exactly what the senior knows what to do. What I was going to say is, you know, you're under 8 minutes and you've burned 2 timeouts, so only 1 to work with, and you got to make a defensive stop because it's a 2-score game. They need to work with tempo here. However, working with tempo and messing up Sims' timing are 2 pieces of a puzzle that I don't know if they are going to be able to solve, and we'll have to find out.
And they come up big in a big-time moment. Another pass complete to Keelan Jones. Sophomore has at least his 4th or 5th catch of the day. He's also out of bounds and stops the clock. Again, he's 7:44. You don't got to worry a ton about time. What's more important is you do get that score. But you are right, kid, and they do got to, you know, not play hurried, but they got to play with purpose right now. That pass gained 5 yards.
It's never too early to start thinking about the clock, though, especially when there's no 2-minute warning and you only have 1 timeout to work with.
And Normal West in a bit of a different formation on defense. Sims looking to go deep. Evades McCollum. Got some blocks, and he's got a first down and way more. The longest run of the day for Caleb Sims inside the 30-yard line when it's all said and done.
He lowered his shoulder there and even got Taekwon Page, the junior safety, to push him another 2 yards at the end of that run. You know, you were just talking, John, about how we haven't seen Sims' legs as much this afternoon as the stat sheet might have told us we would. There's the perfect example of him finding some space and making it work with his own 2 feet.
Run up to about the 33, a massive pickup from the senior quarterback. And he's played a strong game despite some turnovers on the stat sheet. Trying to get his team back within 1 score. Now looking for a deep ball here. Williams brings it in. There's the big score, and Wolverines get it back to within.
Finally gets the connection with his senior. The 2 seniors in Williams and in Sims not been able to mesh today and get the timing right. We've seen multiple drops, multiple just misplaced throws between the 2. That one was on the money, and that one, as of now, makes it a 2015 game for the 4th touchdown catch of the season for Williams.
Now the question is, do you go for 2 and try to make it a 3-point game? But again, that's just what the doctor ordered, Caden. That scoring drive only took 34 seconds off the clock and only about 3 or 4 plays.
I mean, exactly what I was talking about. When you're in this position, they now don't have any sense. I mean, they still have a sense of pressure, but it's not imminent, and it looks like they are going for 2.
And he'll hand off. Bell is going nowhere. Wrapped up by Brady Hart, the other Hart.
You know, even if they got the PAT there, John, I'm not confident. Even if they got the PAT, I'm not certain they would have felt comfortable going for a field goal if it came down to it. So I think going for 2 there did not hurt in that aspect.
Hey, still going to need a touchdown most likely regardless. Scoring drive brought to you again by Papa John's. Wolverines making this one a edge of your seat nail biter. And speaking of the Wolverines again, we talk about Simeon, football. Most of you hear Simeon and think basketball, and for a good reason. You see, their names: Derrick Rose, Jabari Parker, Taylor Horton Tucker, all Wolverine stars. That program that's won so many state titles on the hardwood. Martez Wilson, though, a former Illinois Fighting Illini defensive standout, went on to have a good NFL career. Simeon Wolverines alum as well.
Yeah, countless other names not included in that graphic who either got drafted and was a journeyman or played a season or 2 as well in the NBA.
Kick is away, brought in. Looks like that's Baskins at the 20. And runs up to about the 40. And another guy went to Simeon. Again, we broadcasted the game between Washington and Palos Heights Shepherd yesterday. Shepherd's head coach John Roan, Simeon alum as well. So, John, if you're tuning in, hope you're enjoying today's broadcast. Another distinguished alum from Simeon. It's a wide alumni base as well. People that go to Simeon, I can tell, just very proud of where they came from, very proud to be a Wolverine.
Certainly, and I think there's a couple guys on the roster today who share that, including Christopher Burgess, who was already committed to Notre Dame. He's back now out on the field, lined up in the linebacker spot. He actually had his future coach, Marcus Freeman, come and watch him face Am Dunson in Week 5. Notre Dame had the bye.
Amundsen.
Yeah, I'm not good. I've never seen the school before. 30-14 victory that afternoon for the Wolverines.
And a run by Mulbauer there on 1st and 10. Picks up only about 2. Now, if you're Normal West, you're in no hurry. Just kind of keep those chains moving. You would want a drive that was just like that one you had in the first quarter to start this game. Just slow and methodical.
Yeah, and what added to that drive is they were able to mix in the deep pass when they wanted it. And especially with this front, doesn't seem that way. And that was something that in the first drive you saw. You saw 4 out wide. You saw 3-man trips. You haven't seen that much since the first drive. It really has just been run up the middle.
See, they try and break one to the outside. Mulbauer will try and do this here. No, it's Temple's up the middle. He gets a big hit laid into him, but it's after he picked up the first down yardage. Cooper Temples, the senior, is doing anything possible to keep this drive alive.
Yeah, Temples has been able to take it himself, or he's found his good friend in Kobe Mostert behind him.
Cody Mostert? Cody Mulbauer. You're thinking of Sunday. You're thinking of Raheem Mostert. First and 10 now in Simeon territory. Again, Wildcats in no hurry, and Simeon wants to hang on to that final timeout. Mulbauer runs into a wall right there. Another key stop for Simeon when they need it. It's Darrell Hampton.
Yeah, Davion Payne there as well on that stop, penetrating and getting his arms around. One thing that I've been noticing as the game's progressed, Cooper Temples makes it look like he's going to run. Watch him after the snap take 2 steps forward before he gives the ball to the running back. Most quarterbacks kind of go back, kind of get in either a throwing position or just go back. He makes it look like he's going to take off even before he gives it to the running back. Interesting to do that even when you're going to give it to your running back who's going to go up the middle.
And if you're Simeon, you have to respect that too, because Temples has ran it so often here today. Mulbauer cuts it back inside, still on his feet. Hill, or rather Lee, tries to bring him down, but a strong gain there on.
That was actually, that was Malik Givens on an and around. They faked out, and now he's hobbling off.
And we'll see if he's all right. Definitely not something you want to see. He's went over to the sideline quickly, maybe just a cramp there, and he's getting stretched out now. 3rd and 2. Now you need a stop here if you're Simeon inside of 5 minutes. Another first down could be 2+ minutes coming off the clock.
Yeah, a lot of young weapons on this offense with Kivens being a junior and Mulbauer and Baskins both sophomores. Of course, Kivens and Baskins both sides of the ball today.
Direct snap to Temples. He just runs it. He's got the first down, still on his feet inside the 30. Cooper Temples, the senior QB, still doing it all.
Cooper Temples has proven on this drive that he doesn't need to air it out to have another a second successful drive. He can use the and around. He can use his feet to fake out before he gives it to Mulbauer. He can take it himself if he wants to. And honestly, the quarterback runs seem to be the most efficient and the most dominant for this offense right now.
Again, no official stats in front of us, but I think Cooper Temples is probably definitely Normal West leading rusher. He goes down there on a big hit.
Mulbauer just standing behind him watching that play.
Yeah, I think he just got a bit caught up there, and Temples took a lick but popped back up. And now inside of 4 minutes, again, Normal West may not even have to score to win this game. Or, if they just keep on getting first down, Simeon, again, can only stop the clock once. You really wanted to hang on to that at least that second time out.
Trying to get them to break with the hard count, and nearly they did. That was Lamar Hobbs, who nearly broke the plane. However, he stayed true on the edge.
Mulbauer up the middle, running right into Charles Burgess, who bear hugs him and pushes him backwards, still pushing him backwards, and it'll be another third down. Again, if you give up the first down here, Caden, you're looking at maybe about 2 minutes or so on the clock with one timeout. That is going to be a very tough situation. So you need to stop here if you're the Wolverines on third. As not even taking into account that Normal West could go forward on fourth down too.
Yeah, they have to make the stop right here, right now, because, again, Normal West is most likely going to try and take the fourth down attempt, and they've been successful this afternoon converting a couple, only missing one.
Temples is going to come up short of the sticks that time. Simeon is going to call timeout here with 2:13 to go. It's their last. And this is going to be the biggest one of the game. And, what do you do here if you're Nathan Fincham, Caden? You're at about the 25-yard line. It'd be about a 42-yard field goal. I think that's not much of a possibility. Do you?
I mean,
I don't think you really want to punt it here inside the 25. I think there's no other option to go for.
To be honest, going forward is your safest bet, because if you attempt the field goal and you miss, which odds are even if you make the field goal, it's still going to be a 7-point game. And so I'm a sports comm major. You're checking my math. I can see with your fingers. It's an 8-point game. I thank you for my assistance. You make the field goal, it's an 8-point game. However, the odds are so low that you make it, especially being with this stadium, with not consistent or not as confident in the kicking. The run game has worked so well for you. You only got about 3, or it says 6 on the scoreboard, but it looks in my eyes like it's about 4 out. I think you got to just try and put it forward and push it forward.
4th and 6. Wildcats need to get to the 17. Lots of motion on this play. All 4 wide receivers moving around. Simeon's got to find their matchups.
Then they tried the hard count. This is exactly all of this is what they did the first drive, and that worked so well for them then.
A lot of movement, a lot of hard count. Simeon, though, hasn't bitten just yet. Play clock down to 3, and I think Normal West is going to take the timeout. And
They called the timeout pretty quickly there. I don't think they ever had the intent. I think once Simeon called the timeout, they had a huddle, and Nathan Finchman said, we're going to try and just get a jump, get a little bit closer, get a free first down, whatever the situation may be. Try and make the situation make more sense to us. He had 2 timeouts, so he was easily able to burn one in this situation. I saw him right next to the ref that whole time, about ready to hold it. So the plan was never to snap that football.
And Normal West, again, they've been battle tested in close games so much this season. A dramatic win against Peoria Notre Dame back in week 1, knocked away a pass on the final drive of the game, while P&D was in the red zone to seal the win. Then they beat Peoria High 20-18. in week 5 to seal a win that turned around their season after starting 2-2. Now looking to win their 6th straight. A first down may do it for them. Simeon needs the ball back. Temples takes the snap. Looking to pass. Floats it over. Givens. Who else got the first down?
Givens hobbled off a little bit earlier on this drive. That was one of the first. I think that might have been the first, if not last play was the first play. He went back out on the field. He moves the chains, and with the clock at 2:07 with him running out of bounds, it'll be, I'm, again, not a mathematician, but it should be the game unless if something crazy happens.
Wouldn't quite be the game. If playoffs at 40, it'd take about 2 minutes off, so.
But if they play it right, it can be because you
but
can
the clock
run
stopped,
around.
though, after because Givens went out of bounds there, so that does help Simeon.
Right, what I'm saying, though, is Temples can run around with it. Temples can, it's going to really be the defense that decides if this is over or not.
Well, Temples may just try and score on this one and put it away. He's inside the 10, down to about the 5. Nearly got first down yardage there. And if you're Simeon, you wonder, I mean, the odds of this are so low, but at this point, do you just let them score? And I know it makes it a 2-possession game, but at least you would be guaranteed to get the ball back. Maybe go on a long scoring drive, then try an onside. I mean, it would take a lot, but you got to think of that situation possibly if you're Q Turner.
I think that situation has to run through your head. I think the more plausible one is when that starting on that first down and the rest of this, you just got to tell all your guys punch the ball out. You need the turnover more than the stop. And so I think if you allow the touchdown, it's not the end of the world, but you have to be going for the ball first in this situation. You can't try and make a tackle.
Most definitely. First and goal from the 5.
And it looks like it's semi-victory
formation.
formation.
And that does look like victory formation. The clock where it's at, Normal West does not need to run any more plays. I wasn't quite sure if that was a first down or not, but because it was, that sends them, resets the downs. Temples will kneel it out, and Normal West will hang on at home. Another thrilling game, Caden, and boy, Simeon gave them all they could handle. Let that Wildcats and that late touchdown from Cody Mulbauer. 3 picks from Malik Givens ends up being the difference here today in Normal West. Looks like they will move on to face East St. Louis in the second round of the Class 6A playoffs. It would be the 3rd straight matchup against the Flyers for the Wildcats. So a bit of a tough luck there, but hey, you won a playoff game, you got a chance. And that's all you really need.
Yeah, Normal West getting ready at the 50 for the high fives. Simeon still stretched down, trying to hold out the whatever hope they have left that maybe a botch snap or whatnot occurs. And I think
that's not going to happen.
Not going to happen here, folks. Last year was 37-6. This year, 20-15. A great duel, however, same outcome. Normal West takes it and will go and play East St. Louis.
It really, I think, came down to those turnovers in the first half. Simeon was in position to score multiple times, just couldn't quite get it. They did get it going in the second quarter, or second half rather, with touchdowns. Make it a 1-score game, but Normal West got the ball back, and Cody Mulbauer, his touchdown made it 20-9. And Malik Givens, an interception, helped seal it for Normal West. Wildcats will celebrate a home victory and most likely head on the road next week down to East St. Louis for their next game. 20-15, your final score from Normal. We'll step aside and be right back to wrap this one up here on WMBD Game of the Week.
Michael's Italian Feast, home of the best subs, pizza bread, grilled cheese, and Italian beef fry.
The best pile high subs and hot sandwiches in Central Illinois. And no one has better homemade, always fresh from the oven bread. Michael's Italian Feast.
Why call 2 men in a truck for junk removal? If you're like Sarah, you've got a full garage. You need space, and you need it now. You want pros who make this look easy. That's why, for junk removal, you call 2 men in a truck.
2 men in a truck. From the White House to the State House, no one brings you closer to the candidates than WMBD News.
Urging college students to make their voices heard in November. This is a chance for you to express your voice and your opinion.
People who need to be in jail must remain in jail.
You're looking at everybody under a microscope.
I can work with Republicans and Democrats.
Had to do something about it, decided to run for Congress.
Breaking down the issues and getting your questions answered. WMBD News, your local election headquarters.
Welcome back to Normal, where the Wildcats are victorious on their home turf. Third straight season, they've won in the first round, and they will encounter East St. Louis in the second round of the postseason. A 20-15 win over Chicago Simeon, who made the trip, faced some early adversity, and they were the slight underdogs coming into today, and a strong effort comes up just short for them. Congratulations on great careers to all of those Simeon players. And the victory jumping jacks for the Normal West Wildcats, a team tradition.
Yeah, you know, as you mentioned, a celebratory for all those players that won't be returning. A lot of that defense is seniors. A couple of their offensive players are seniors, including Jamari Burns, who didn't get many touches today, but Javion Williams, Caleb Sims, both senior, or a bunch of seniors on that offense, but really a senior-heavy defense. It's going to be a different Simeon team next season, John.
I'm excited to see what they bring. Christopher Burgess' last game in a Wolverines jersey before he goes on to don the iconic gold domes of Notre Dame next season. Congratulations to him on a great career and the rest of the Wolverines too. But back to Normal West, our perfect choice exteriors player of the game, Caden, Malik Givens. 3 interceptions, the game-clinching fourth down reception, a touchdown reception as well. He just did everything for Normal West today. And it would have had a pick 6 too if it wasn't called back due to penalty.
Yeah, you know, 5 interceptions last week, and it was between 4 different players for Normal West. Today, 3 interceptions, 1 guy. And on top of it, he started the game off with the 32-yard receiving touchdown to put the Wildcats up 7-0 early.
That was a big one. Normal West needed as many points as they could. Could point to any play as a difference maker in this one. That touchdown to Givens, that fumble recovery for a touchdown by Drew Hart was so big, put about 14 zip. And then Mulbauer put the game just barely out of reach for Simeon, despite their claws coming oh so close on the road here in Normal.
And don't even forget about Cooper Temples, who was able to create whenever anyone else was unable to, and just able to get in the backfield and run through between the linemen, as well as get to the outside, and created countless, again, we don't have stats in front of us, so we're going to use the word countless first downs.
You certainly did. Lots of rushing yards, and just a nice job running the offense for Cooper Temples again. Normal West's third starting quarterback, but it doesn't matter who they put back there because their team can just succeed with no matter who they have, where they have. Wildcats are a dangerous team, and they'll try and pull off the upset and shock the world next week as they face the winner of East St. Louis and Springfield. That will about do it from Normal. A fun-filled playoff weekend of football. We did 3 games in a span of about 18 hours or so. It's been a fun whirlwind here. We're excited, though, to take a breath, reset, see the rest of the games going on around the area, and come back with more playoff action next week. Stay tuned to our social media to see where we're going to go for our WMBD Game of the Week. Lots of teams are going to be on the road. Maybe we'll be on the road as well. We'll just have to see.
Yeah, John, it'll be interesting to see not just where we go, but also some of these matchups that we'll have next week. A lot of good duels, like you said. Normal West went from being a slight favorite to being a heavy underdog. That doesn't mean you count this group out. As we saw today, they were able to battle whether they were up, whether they were down. A lot of other great matchups. You know, PND did the unthinkable, upset Rochester.
Great win over Rochester last night. Best game in the state by a long shot.
And a couple other teams. I mean, Metamora Central is going on right now. We won't know if Metamora is coming back. Dunlap lost by 1, another Mid-Illini team. Washington will go on the road for a tough game. A lot of interesting competitions will be had next week, and we don't even know where we're going yet, John. It's a mystery not just to the viewer, but to us as well.
It's going to be fun wherever we go. And until then, subscribe to clutchsportsil.com/overtime. We'll have plenty of playoff coverage and this is football-centric stories from all around the area, getting you all set for week 11 of the season, week 2 of the playoffs as well. For our entire Clutch Sports Media crew, Josh Messenger, our director, Rodrigo Perez, our producer today, Dalton Carmine, Gabe Holoka, Nicholas Yosefi, and company all hanging out, helping us out on camera as well. Ben Tapp taking pictures and being on the sidelines as well. Alongside Caden Sexton, I'm Jonathan Michaels saying so long. Have a great rest of your weekend from Normal. Have lots of fun. Enjoy the rest of the playoff season. And we'll see you next week on CIProud.com. Normal West is your winner, 20-15.